Welcome to the VAFA William Buck SEN Match of the Day.
He has a bounce, he crosses 50, he pins the ears back, and he drills the goal! You can tweet that and hashtag it bloody good.
It goes high up and under the full foot. Becky's taken a ripper!
Makes a name for himself with these long bombs from outside the arc. It's a long bomb from outside the arc!
Hello and welcome along to Saturday afternoon amateur footy here on VAFA TV and the SEN app. It's round 2 of the 2026 VAFA William Buck Premier Men's campaign, and today the picturesque Brighton Beach Oval plays host to a critical early season encounter between two teams who will be vying for a final spot come the end of the home and away season. This time last week, Old Brighton unfurled 3 premiership flags at this very venue, and the seniors duly saluted with a crushing 91-point win over St Bernard's to kickstart its premiership defence. In addition to going 2-0 today, the other carrot that dangles for the Tunners is the rare opportunity to make it 20 wins in a row at this venue. They've not lost on this ground since August 2023, and they've not lost at all since round 12 last year. The team to beat them that day? Today's opponents, St Kevin's. The Kevinians started their season with a disappointing defeat at home at the hands of the Old Zaverians, and coming up against the reigning premiers today, the prospect of starting the season 0-2 is a very real one. But it's also an opportunity to send a message to the rest of the competition if they can breach the most impenetrable fortress in football and storm the Brighton Beach Oval Castle. This is VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Footy on VAFA.com.au and the SEN app. Matthew Donald is my name. Looking forward to your company throughout the course of the afternoon. And alongside me is the 2-time premiership coach and 3-time coach of the year with Elstonwick, the one and only Hugo Higginbotham. Hugo, welcome to you.
Hello, Matty. Great to be here at this beautiful, picturesque ground here in Brighton. What a day we've got, Matty. Hope you've got the sunscreen on because you will be prone to a little bit of sunburn with your pasty skin. But what a great day out here for football, and what a contest we've got here. A ceremony coming up later for Anzac Day, something which we do really well in this country, Anzac Day. It's a real highlight of the calendar. And the contest we've got today, geez, it sets itself up for a ripper. And we're up here on the balcony at Brighton, and we've virtually got it to ourselves at the moment. But, Matty, I am concerned. There's a fair old lunch rocking in there, and as soon as that door opens, we're going to be inundated with the great unwashed out here.
Well, it is party time for Old Brighton. As I said, they've got 3 sides who are reigning premiers. They're in a golden era at the moment, are the club. And speaking of Old Brighton as well, it is part of the legislation. We do have to have this man in the commentary box whenever Old Brighton are about. Some have even gone as far as to dub him Mr. Tunner. We'll just stick with Cal Cummins for now. Cal, good afternoon to you.
Matty, Hugo, thank you, and thanks for having me on. It's going to be an absolute belter today. No questions about that. Tunner, as you said, going for 20 straight at this venue. Something that's almost beyond comprehension, really. St Kevin's, though, they're the best team to try and tackle them, as you said. The 4 losses in the home and away seasons of the 2 years past that Brighton have had, 2 of them have been St Kevin's. And in the wins that Brighton have had, they've been really, really close.
Yeah, and we sort of go, so 19 in a row dating back, as I said, to August 2023. The team that's come the closest to knocking over Old Brighton off at this venue in that period of time is also St Kevin's. It was the final game of the home and away season in 2024. I think there were 41 points down, St Kevin's at one point. They chalked off 40 of them. They lost by just a point at the very end.
They did. And it's one of the best games of the year because both teams were first and second on the ladder at that point. Brighton, I think they had secured top position, but St Kevin's were playing to secure that double chance spot. They lost in the end, but because of other results, they still managed to get into that first semi-final in 2024. But as you said, it's now been 973 days back to August 2023, as you said, since Old Brighton last lost here. Fortress Brighton living up to its name.
This is the Saturday warm-up thanks to Holmes Glen, a leading provider of vocational and higher education with 40 years experience and more than 140,000 graduates. TAFE at its absolute best. We go through how these two teams fared last week. We did sort of mention it in the opener. Old Brighton were here at home. Big win over St Bernard's, 91 points in the end. And St Kevin's, Hugo, we were at this game at TH King Oval, a 27-point defeat to Old Zaverians, 8-15-63 to 13-12-90. 25 scores to 23 in favour of the Old Zaverians. So on the surface, makes it sound like a pretty close game, but did it feel that way in real time?
Probably didn't, Matty, to be honest. I mean, we had a very tightly contested game, but played predominantly in the Xavier half as well. So it was look, St Kevin's kicked a lot of points, but that was a lot of pressure on them. Always, it was hard to get clear possession. There was a lot of long kicks straight up the line. Xavier are very good. It's going to be a red-hot season this year for them. You can tell that. But I'll be looking at St Kevin's this week to probably consolidate on last week, get some really good learnings out of that. Would have been great for a plugger because you can go back to that game, show the footage, talk about where they fell down. Probably not enough speed on lateral movement, too many long kicks up the line. So you'd be looking for them to rectify that today. And they do match up very well against the Tunners. And we are nearly being blown off the balcony.
It is windy up here.
I brought the sunscreen. Did you bring your heavier shoes, Hugo? Because you're going to blow away otherwise.
I did. I'm nailing the shoes to the floor here.
So the head-to-head you mentioned, Hugo, really fascinating stuff. The last time these teams played, St Kevin's won by 27 points. I think there were a few Tunners who were suffering with Tullamarine flu at about that time of the year. The head-to-head since 2018 is remarkable. 16 games, 8 wins apiece. That 27-point win to St Kevin's, comfortably the biggest in recent times. The previous 6 games between these two, an average combined margin of 26 points. So they know how to match up these two sides.
Yeah, they definitely do. I think you probably find that they play a very similar brand. They both like to get very defensive behind the ball, laterally move and slingshot forward. Brighton probably hit the scoreboard a little bit more. St Kevin's notoriously defensive, but I know that the players really focus on trying to score a little bit more regularly this year, and so that'll be interesting. But yes, look, two sides, top of the table almost. You know, they've both been in the finals the last few years, and they know each other really well. So we are in for a red-hot game today. Bit to play for today for St Kevin's. They don't want to be zipping two.
Well, yeah, you start behind the 8 ball in this caper very quickly if you go 0-2. Cal, you're a resident Tunners man. I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yes.
Is this the longest winning streak at home for Old Brighton, the Tunners? 19 in a row today at this venue.
Certainly since we've been working at the VAFA, that's for sure. I don't think any team's even come close. Because Old Brighton, they've been fighting their way through. They were in Prem A for a while, dropped down to Prem B around the 2016, 2017 era, and they were a dominant force then, but not like what we are seeing right now.
So what do you reckon it is about this venue that they play so well?
Well, I'll tell you, one part, very ironically today, is the wind. When you come down here, it is blowing a gale, and Old Brighton, they play the conditions best. When they're in possession, they are really driving the ball with the breeze down to the right of screen here on KTV, the right of your radio dial. But when they're coming into the breeze, they play on their terms. Really slow, controlled footy. That's the way Marcel Bruin is really going to attack today.
So the wind providing special comments throughout the afternoon, which you'll no doubt hear for Hit IQ, and Hugo Higginbotham might chip in at a time or two throughout the broadcast. Going through the changes as well, because there's a couple of interesting changes for both sides. We'll start with St Kevin's. 2 changes for them. Alistair Richards and Tom Parola come back in for the first time this season. Liam Edwards and Ollie Gill miss out. They're the 2 changes for St Kevin's. For Old Scotch, this is quite interesting. So the outs I've got here, Tom Yorgie, Sam Blinder and Archie Manson.
Did you say Old Scotch?
You did say Old Scotch.
I did say Old Scotch. All right. That's one we can chalk down there. I did not remove. I left Old Scotch here on the old rundown.
You've got form around this.
Yes, I do. We'll get that out of the way nice and early. Tom Yorgie, Sam Blinder, Archie Manton out early. The in Sam Fanning, Charlie Richardson, and a debut today, and a famous name in the Old Brighton lineage, George Hill, brother of Harry.
Sure is. Brighton royalty, the Hill family. They are going to be all firing whenever George gets around the ball, particularly his brother Harry Hill. But I'm going to talk about the loss of Sam Linder. He's gone up as an emergency for North Melbourne VFL today. Last week, I could not believe his game. He was comfortably the best on ground, which is incredibly hard to do across halfback in a 90-point win. I said he had a quadruple double. He had 35-odd possessions, 10 intercepts, 10 inside 50s, 10 marks. It was an unbelievable performance.
Now, sorry, Matty, you know the most frustrating part for Marcel Bruin, the coach of Old Brighton? He's the travelling emergency too.
So he's not actually playing.
He's not actually playing.
Take out at half time. Of course, today is
in VFL footy, that is.
Of course, today is Anzac Day, a day to commemorate those who sacrificed themselves for us in World War I and II, so that we may enjoy the freedoms that we do today. And of course, to honour the Australian servicemen and women that serve this country to this day. We'll head down now to ground level to observe the Anzac ceremony, and then that will be followed by a minute's silence.
Welcome everybody to our Anzac Day match at Brighton Beach Oval. We are going to have an Anzac Day ceremony now. If everyone could please be silent throughout, hats off. And I would like now to welcome Harry Hill, the captain of Old Brighton, and Tom Jack, the captain of St Kevin's, please.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget. We will all now enjoy singing the national anthem of Australia.
It's a moment where football becomes trivial. Anzac Day, one of the most significant days on the calendar from both an Australian and a New Zealand perspective. And as you mentioned earlier, Hugo, it's a ceremony and an occasion that's well observed in this game.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, there's not many people in the country who aren't affected by it somehow through family connections or. So it's a great thing. And you mentioned World War I, World War II. There's quite a lot of other conflicts that we recognise now. I mean, there's Vietnam. We've had Afghanistan, and And you know, it's something that's amazing. I know my grandfather served in the Second World War in New Guinea, and a good mate of mine did 2 tours of Afghanistan. So there's 2 ends of the spectrum. And yeah, it's something that we should be really proud of. But we do it very well in Australia, which is good. And it's a great day to like you said, footy becomes a little bit trivial when you think about the broader things. But you know, it's a great thing, football, and it brings communities together. And it's a great day here, Matty.
Now, it is gorgeous sunshine conditions here at Brighton Beach Oval, living up to the name itself. The 2 teams are broken away now in their respective huddles, not too far away from the match starting. It's Old Brighton looking to make it 20 in a row at Brighton Beach Oval. St Kevin's looking to avoid a 0-2 start and try and storm the castle, Cal. How are they going to win it?
Well, St Kevin's, they've got to really, really take the game on. We saw what Savs did to them last year. They were in complete control of the ball. St Kevin's need to flip that script. They've got to be the ones to make the really hot start. It looks like Brighton are going to be the ones kicking with the breeze this quarter to the right of your screen on KTV, right? Brighton, they're going to be the ones to try and go long. St Kevin's in this first term, they're going to be the ones to control the pace of the game.
Yeah, look, Brighton don't want to get carried away with the wind either. We saw it in the reserve game then where I think it was St Kevin's who were storming home with the breeze, but it was just long bombs all the time.
They lost their head.
Easy to defend, so you really need to still maintain possession, and those 25-metre hit-up kicks, even with the breeze, are still really valuable. So you can't get carried away with the breeze.
Final tip?
My final tip, Brighton by 22 points.
Yep.
I was going to say Brighton 4 goals. That's almost exactly on par.
Go Old Brighton 20 for 20. Can they make it 20 in a row, or will St Kevin's find a way to breach Brighton Beach Oval? The players are in position. The umpire has the ball in hand. Anzac Day here at Brighton Beach Oval. Old Brighton and St Kevin's to call the opening moments of the action. Here's Cal Cummins.
Umpire holds the ball off. It's Josh Carr and Big Billy Coates in the middle. And the ball is up, and footy is alive at the Brighton Beach Oval. Josh Carr trusting dues. Coates won the ball down that occasion. Burnell in the middle. Carr goes in and lays the tackle. We've got a deadlock, and we'll go again.
Just notice Tom Jock started in the middle on the very dangerous Tom Fisher. That'll be a match-up to watch all day. A
potential tag, and Burnell gets the first clearance. He goes forward out towards Cam Pearley. Couldn't quite gather cleanly. Jock did well to handball it forward. It's come straight back. McNabb on the back of a career-high 40 last week. Lowers the eyes. That's a beautiful kick. Right on cue, Hugo. Not getting carried away, going long, just short kicks. Found Hamish Dick on the lead.
Absolutely. 9 players out of 10 will probably be in that situation trying to launch to the top of the square, but just that unattended player, 35, 40 metres out, a very, very valuable first possession. First entry, first possession, shot on goal.
22 possessions and 2 goals last week for Hamish Dick, but last year, 19 goals, 30. Wasn't his forte, but this one with the breeze right behind him, starts it perfectly. That's going to drift back, and the Tunners have got the first in the opening minute.
Well, what a way to start. So that's very, very disciplined play entering forward there. And a beautiful execution on goal there by Hamish. Just left-hand goal post, let the wind bring it back beautifully, and not a lot SKOB boys can do from that. What SKOB need to do is just make sure that they are focusing on the shortest option as well, rather than all just stacking back and waiting for that long bomb into the forward line.
Great start for the Tunners with the breeze, as you say, got the advantage, but still got to kick the goals, and that was good football and a good set shot from Hamish Dick, who looks like he's got the radar recalibrated over the summer. 3 straight for him now to start the year. Toss up again. Carr got hands to it that time. He'll grum it and get the hand pass away now. It comes back here to Fisher, had a bit of a fumble. He still gets a kick away up towards the half-forward flank. Off hands, no Mark Matheson was there. Ball knocked towards the goal. Here's Hodges now, who tries to spin out of trouble, gets a hand pass away, and then Jones feeds a hand pass across, and then a wide kick. And that's gone out of bounds on the full. That might have been Matheson following up. So it'll be a free kick. The ball's coming back here. Kick to be taken here by Campbell Tweedy. That's Tom Jock, who's already getting some treatment on the interchange right beside Tweedy here. We'll get to that in a second, Hugo, as Tweedy looks to set the kick high up towards half forward. It goes inside attacking 50, and that mark might be paid to Matheson. He's marked it, and the umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. He flipped the hand pass away. The umpire said, no, bring it back. You weren't sure. We'll pay the mark.
Just notice there with Tom Jock, he's getting a bit of attention to that knee, and we saw that last week, Matty. He copped an impact to it, and it gave him a bit of trouble. It was heavily struck today.
It is. The kick goes long up the line. It's come off hands. Back now to Lohan, who slips, and that might have worked for him advantageously. He was caught high in the aftermath. He's happy to give it away as well. It's a free kick. He'll take it centre wing.
So low on the defensive side of the wing. He's only looking long. There's a couple options in the corridor. Ignores those and goes up towards half forward. Agged the target. Went through his fingertips and off the hands of Flock up. Will get a boundary throw in about 45 out from the Brighton goal at right half forward.
bit of a win for Brighton there. That got inside that forward 50 arc, so no last touch boundary free kick there.
One straight 6 of the tonners through 3 minutes of this opening quarter for TLC Healthcare. Ball brought back into play. Flockhart now in ruck duties inside the attacking zone. Ag crumbed it well out towards Finn Campilli. Handballs it forward. Burnell, a great chance. It's 2 in 3 minutes for Old Brighton. Tommy Burnell right in the hole. 10 goals last year for him. He's kicked his first in the second game this year.
A little bit of a concern there for St Kevin's. That was an easy tap down to an unattended player, short handball out, and seemed to be a lot of loose players around that attacking side of that boundary throwing there, which is a bit of a concern. Generally, you want to try and get a few players on the defensive side if you're St Kevin's, but the gate was left open there, boys.
And they pounced, didn't they?
Certainly did.
It's been a good start for Old Brighton. 2 straight 12. St Kevin's yet to score. We've only approached 4 minutes here in the opening term for TLC Healthcare. You think differently about aged care. Old Brighton's principal partner. Tossed up again. Carr was so good on the ruck last week. Oh, he won the tab out and the clearance. Straight to Harry Hill. Hands it over to Burnell. Runs to 50. Drives along towards goal and he's brought it back. And that's 3 on the board in rapid fire time. Straight out of the centre, Tom Burnell bursts away. Goal of the day contender for Hodges Real Estate. 4 minutes gone here in the opening term. Old Brighton 3 straight. St Kevin's have barely had it. They're yet to score on the TLC Healthcare scoreboard, Hugo.
Yeah, that was an amazing piece of ruck work there by Josh Carr. Young Josh Carr is still eligible for 19s. Now, Cal, you and I called that 19s extravaganza.
We sure did.
Where Old Brighton played a Perth team. He did that about 10 times that game. He taps it to himself.
He's so athletic.
Yeah.
Unbelievably athletic, Josh Carr. He will jump out the gym.
So we'll keep an eye on that one.
He's been trusted as the primary rock duties here against Billy Coates, and he's really making his mark so far. Coates wins on that occasion. Seeger quickly onto him, but St Kevin's with their first real look going forward. Just over the top. Lovely crumb on that occasion there. Spinning around. Snap goes towards goal. St Kevin's for the instant reply. They've got it. SKOB reply. 3 straight, plays 1 straight, and it's a hot start to this contest.
Well, there you go. So it's the ruckman defining this game, it would appear at the moment. You've got big Billy Coates there, attempted to take it out of the ruck, just got that short handball away, and then that fast play forward. Great snap around the body there.
And someone's clearly had a jumper change because number 14 is not on any of our team sheets.
No,
so
they've done well this year, the boys.
We'll get that one to you in just a moment.
Yes. Every week there is, don't we?
It's always one. There's always one who can't help themselves.
Yes.
A goal of the day contender when we find out their name for Hodges Real Estate. Anything into the breeze is going to be worth, well, I reckon at least double. It's a great goal.
Well, you'd say, Matty, that's probably about a 3 or 4 goal breeze out there.
They're very strong at the moment. Carr again as Coates takes a tumble. Hodges in there.
Oh,
He's coming out
is.
to Carr once more. His kick was smothered though. It bounces inside, attacking 50. Going back is Matheson. He loops the hand pass over the top. Bouncing football. Got to be gathered here. Tom Parola back in the side does well. High kick up towards the wing. Playing in front, our mystery man 14. Brought it to ground. No mark taken. And it's going to be a free kick for holding the ball here. Dived on top of it. So St Kevin's to take the kick. Be nice if we had a boundary rider today. It's Harrison or Raj, one of them would be all over that 14. Kick is smothered though down the line, and it's eventually escorted over the line. The man getting into it there was Tommy Howden before he was pushed over. It'll be a boundary throw in neutral territory on the broadcast wing.
Yeah, that was just a kick to try and get as much distance as possible. Kicked it down on the mark. Did not have many options up the line there. That was just going to be a long dump kick.
Ball tossed in, true centre wing. Old Brighton by 12 points through 7 minutes of this first term. Carr won the hit out. Burnell was lurking dangerously. Seeger goes in and applies the tackle. Fisher watched it closely too. Seeger then emerged with the football. It comes out towards the front. Seeger trying to go again. Burnell. We're going slowly forward here for St Kevin's. Trying to go crashing through there as Hodges couldn't get it away. Picked up by McNabb. And then George Hill and Debut almost collected clean possession. Pfeiffer on all fours went down and picked it up. And the umpire has found a free kick holding the ball. It's going the way of George Hill and Debut.
That was a very hot whistle there. Anyway, we'll take that. But he's a very strong player, George Hill.
Under 19's premiership captain last season, George Hill played his juniors for the Brighton Beach Kangaroos and East Brighton Vampires. He sends it up towards half forward. No mark could be taken. Handball comes out towards the side. Duke goes in there on all fours. Feeds it over the top by hand. Jones was on also around the contest. And we'll get a boundary throw in right underneath the scoreboard here at the Brighton Beach Oval.
Cal, Hugo, that goal number 14, you know where that goes, don't you?
Into our lovely rushed goals column.
That's spot on, Cal, the rushed goals column.
It's one of the bigger goal kickers of the year, I think, the rush goals.
St Kevin's lone goal scorer so far. Coates front spot, a rare tap in. Seager flicked it back intelligently. Good tackle applied there by Richards. Play on though. Burnell, high kick inside 50. There's a whistle, a free kick, and it's going to go the way of St Kevin's. Jones to take it in the back pocket. Went a bit for a hold or a push, or maybe a little bit of everything.
Really going to need some options to open up here. They don't just long dump kick down the line exactly like this.
Well, he does that. There's a couple of targets there. Critchley's one of them. They're playing in front. It's that man again. What a start it's been for the big ruckman. And he goes, he wastes no time, goes back inside, centre half forward, comes off hands. And that might be a stoppage, another ball up. Josh Carr. What a stunning start. Carr, where have you been hiding this fella?
I know, he's been right in the works. He just works and works all day. There's young Josh Carr playing just his 4th senior game today. McNabb swings the bit around it from 45, just across the face of goal. Asks a bit of Felix Flocker. It lands inside the field of play. We'll get a boundary throw in deep inside the forward pocket for Old Brighton.
Yeah, he's very athletic, Josh Carr. His second effort's good. So I just noticed Billy Coates there, the St Kevin's ruckman, really starting to get a physical presence on him, which is what you'll have to do with the young fella.
Ball's going to be tossed back into play. Flockhart v Coates. We're about 20 out from Brighton's goal. Coates just grabs it out the ruck and then was tackled into immediately. Umpire wave play on that time around. Raising his hands on that occasion there was Matheson. Feeds it onto the outside. And St Kevin's will just do a little rush kick out towards the wing position. Tweedy one hand to it. Then got a handball away. Howden was lurking dangerously. And it's off hands. Boundary throw in. 9.5 gone first term. Brighton by 12 points.
Just noticed George Delamitri there, didn't give the first option and then had to do a U-turn and then a long dump kick down the line. You've got to give the first option in that situation.
3 straight 18 plays, 1 straight 6. Old Brighton doing the early scoring. Shallow throw in. We might see a few of those today. Strong tackle there applied by... And again, Josh Carr, who's doing everything at the moment. Wins a tap out there, looking for Fisher. Was worried out of it. Howden's in there, so is Seager. Comes out now to Pryor. His hand pass was charged down. Matheson was in there. Matheson once again, he's just happy to let that trickle over the boundary line for a throw in. Tom Parola was in there as well. It's his first game for this year and only played once last year for St Kevin's. A rare game for Tom Parola at this level. Toss back in. Again, another shallow throw in. Trying to find a way through there was Billy Bryan. Cal?
You mentioned Tom Parola, a rare game for him. He's been in the senior program since 2017. It is just his 4th senior game.
True survivor. Seager. Wormbirder inside attacking 50. Good trap by Matheson. Got the hand pass away, and that was one that was Walsh. Tried to fire wide for Parola, missed him, and it's going to be a boundary throw in at right half forward for Old Brighton.
Seeing a lot of the ball stuck in this right-hand far forward pocket. St Kevin's aren't looking to laterally move the ball away from it. That's got to be the goal. You've got to get away from this congestion because we've probably got 90% of the players in about a 30-metre arc at the moment.
Flockhart v Coates in the ruck. Ball's come towards centre half forward. Diving over the top there was Mazzio. Could quite cleanly get the ball away. Hodges just ripped it out the contest and handballs it out towards space. Handball there from Walsh towards the boundary line. Is off hands. And once again, repeat stoppages at right half forward here for Old Brighton.
Is his boundary up or is his money to those?
It sure is.
Bloke at the other end, he's
not so much.
Easiest payday he's ever had.
He's on his phone at the moment, checking Twitter.
Well, the breeze is going straight down towards that pocket, so I can't say it's particularly surprising as Coach just muscled Flockhart out of the boundary throw-in on that occasion. Fisher then lays the tackle, and the umpire will cross his chest and will call for it once more.
I like what they're doing with the ruckman here because they've got a lot of faith in Carr. He's gone to full forward now, and Felix has come up to the ball, so they're putting a lot of faith in that big fella.
Coach punches that ball out towards the wing. Harry Hill tried to slap it back into play. And there is a whistle. It's going to go the way of the Old Brighton captain. Harry Hill, 2-time Big V captain, drives it in towards the hole. Only numbers there favour St Kevin's. And it's going to be coming back probably to the broadcast wing. There's only numbers setting up on this side of the ground through 12.5 minutes of this opening term for TLC Healthcare. Cork goes in and tries to punch it over the top. Montanaro was tackled as soon as he got hands on the ball. Howden on the outside, had his kick snowed by Delamitri. And once again, a boundary throw in on the wing.
Notice that St Kevin's player had it about 20 metres out from the goal. It did not look lateral at all. He only had eyes for this congested wing.
It's going to be one concentrated heat map for looking at where the ball's been for this opening term. Toss back in, Coates. Ball lost his footing there, so that allowed Coates in. The hand pass comes across, and then a strong tackle over the boundary line. Taken across there with Xavier Duke. And a boundary thrown. The sponsors will be kicking themselves that none of them got in on the boundary line sponsorship today, because they'll be getting their money's worth. It's the broadcast wing, another boundary thrown right into the front of the interchange gate. So even if you're having a rest, you're having a good view of the action today. Now Flockhart taking a turn to the ruck. Coates had front spot that time. Gathered by Hodges, had a world record of tackle targets last week. Walsh loops one over the top, then trying to flip it forward intelligently. There was Marnie. They've got a bit of space here, St Kevin's. This kick inside 50 is important. It carries over the back somehow. It's gone all the way into the goal square and is escorted over the line. Safety first there from Cameron Tweedy. I've got no idea how the ball carried over the heads of everyone at that forward line, but somehow it did. 3 straight 18 Old Brighton, 1-1-7 St Kevin's.
Tweedy to bring the ball back into play. He's only looking at this broadcast wing again. Absolutely no intention of going out towards the South Road wing. Drives it up towards the wing. Hart just completely misread the ball without a touch. That ball's gone beyond the centre line. Ag quickly by hand flicks it on. Carianis then on towards Richardson. He lowers his eyes, and that's a bit better from Brighton end to end in a flash. Travers marks at half forward.
Really good work by Richardson then just to lower the odds. It could have been very easy to have a bomb at goal there, but no, it was a very disciplined play.
Luke Travers then, a part of the premiership team last week. A very composed 17 and a goal for the number 45. As we're about halfway through this opening quarter. Luke Travers almost kicking into the breeze at this point. It's going to be blown right across the face. He strings it out left, and that has gone an absolute U-turn and gone through. Using the breeze perfectly there, Luke Travers. The Tunners there 4 straight in trying conditions. St Kevin's 1-1.
Yes, that turned sideways. The original flipper, that was an amazing kick. He judged that really, really well. Making the most of their opportunities here, Brighton. So they're looking very clinical moving forward, and they're not panicking either. They're waiting for that to open up. All the pressure on St Kevin's at the moment.
Just going to keep tabs on your pre-game prediction there, Hugo, or rather your observations that it's a 3 to 4 goal breeze, you said?
Yeah, it's probably out to about 5 or 6 now, I think. Yeah, no, it is about 3 to 4.
And predictably, the wind picked up just as he was coming in for goal there as well. It's always the way.
Yes.
Hot start here for the Tunners. Flockhart against Coates of the ruck. Coates grabs it out of the ruck and then gets it forward. Only about 10 metres. Not sure the mark would have been paid to Marnie. Dropped it anyway. The ball comes out now, and for the first time it's on the opposite wing. Ben Pryor, kick up the line, just falls short there. Umpire wave play on. Going in and playing the tackle is Carianis. It was Charlie Richardson who was diving in to take the mark, but he couldn't quite get there. There'll be a stoppage here. And finally, a bit of work on the other side of the ground. Coates got rid of Flockhart there a bit too easily in the ruck. And St Kevin's will win the clearance here as a result. They'll get a look inside 50. The kick advantages Tweedy. Oh, a big fly over the top from our mystery man. Goes in and applies the tackle. Tweedy does well to get the hand pass away. And then Lohar, no chances taken. It skirts it over the line safely enough for a rush behind. St Kevin's 1-2-8. Old Brighton 4 straight 24. And that is on the TLC Healthcare scoreboard.
And McNabb went straight up the corridor, but it's going to be coming straight back. And Drisky takes the mark about 60 metres out from goal. Directly in front, he's going to drive it straight back into the hole. Up towards Kashitsky, got one hand to it, no mark taken. Lovely crumpet smother was there straight away, McNabb. And going down, Marnie's holding his shoulder. Umpire, both play on. Burnell crumbs and kicks it along the line. Goodger, lovely take it the first time, passing in towards Campeely. And Brighton are out on the far side of the ground. Pryor can lead into the path of the ball. Pfeiffer watching him like a hawk. Pryor stepped in beautifully, kicks it up towards half forward. Over the top there of Dick. Ag pounced on it. Handballs it forward. Lovely done. Goodger, Richardson. Team goal of the first order coming up. Carianis finishes it off. 5 straight for the Tunners. St Kevin's 1-2-8. That is just end-to-end footy. It's pretty silky at the moment from the Tunners.
Yeah, it was very good there, but it started with Pryor out there on that wing. He was very composed there, lovely entry, and these had players out, so it was very hard for the defenders then for St Kevin's when you got ball coming in at that pace, and you know, when the ball comes at speed, but at controlled speed as well. There's nothing reckless about that, and that's what Brighton are famous for. So that was very good ball movement. We expect to see a bit of that today. 5 straight, that's amazing too.
In windy conditions, 5 straight's unbelievable.
No, it's been a hot start. A very good coast-to-coast goal there, Burnell. caught in the tackle there by Duke. Ball up. Bit of a stop, a bit of an update here. Number 14 is Jack Benk. He's making his debut there. He's been a star for St Bede's Mentone in recent seasons. So he's one to keep an eye on. The number 14, we can chalk one off the Rush goals column. It's got a name all of a sudden. Meanwhile, the footy is at half forward here for Old Brighton. Critchley tried to fight a way through, but he's caught, and it'll be a free kick for holding the ball. The skipper, Harry Hill's got it, wastes no time, drives it inside, attacking 50, over the head there of Richardson, and it trickles out of play for a boundary throw-in.
So, learning that number 14, Jack Beck, sorry to jump in.
Yep.
I remember St Bede's Mentone Tigers last year. I think there was a day where he kicked 11 and then followed it up with 8, I think the week after. So he knows where to find them.
Okay, well, they're going to need 8 from him today, I reckon.
Yeah, and he's on the list of St Kilda as well. So I know there's a bit of carnage there at St Kilda last night. Ross the boss was swinging the magnets around, so he obviously got released, which is a bonus for St Kevin's.
Just don't ask him about that at the presser this weekend, Hugo.
I'd love to go to
Dimitri
one
with a high kick up towards half-back. Pryor, good courage, kept his eyes on the ball, and when you mark it anywhere near the 50-metre arc going with this breeze, the good piece of advice would be to go back and have a go.
But he certainly is. He turned his back on the forward line straight away. He said, I got this, boys. You've got to kick it now too, don't you?
Well, coming into the grand final, he was a leading goal kicker. Well, coming into the final series, he was a leading goal kicker for Old Brighton. Will Lewis overtook him right to the death. 26 goals, 21 for Ben Pryor last season.
Anything better than 50% is great.
He'll be kicking from just outside 50 here on a 45-degree angle. The distance shouldn't be an issue with this breeze at his back. The goal umpire has not moved. What a set shot from Ben Pryor, effortless. And they have 6 straight on the board for the Tunners. St Kevin's 1-2-8. We're approaching time on the opening term for TLC Healthcare. Think differently about aged care. Old Brighton's principal partner. Special comments, Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ.
There's excellent execution there by Pryor, and Matty is so well done that stat out that he is a very good kicking goal, and he illustrated that there. But he's playing a great role on that wing out there, that far side wing, where there's going to be a lot of time and space, and he's having an effect. And I have to pick up, the umpire did step one step to the side of the goal. But for theatre, we'll let you get away with it.
A good kick nonetheless.
Yes, it was.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
No, that's my motto.
Ball tossed up. This time ball's been thrown in the ruck for St Kevin's. Burnell on the outside. Flicked for on that occasion there by Duke out towards the wing. Off hands. Goodger has to go down and pick it up. He wanted a car on the inside. Trying to merge forward there was Billy Bryant. No clean gather. Had the kick smothered there Pryor. Really hot footy here on the edge of the centre square. Hill slick hands out towards Seeger. The widest there was Burnell. He got a hand to it just before it went over the line. So we'll get a boundary throw in as we enter time on of this opening term for TLC Healthcare.
Sorry, Hugo, the good news about Jack Marnie is that it was a very, very minor stinger. He's up running around now, which is good to see.
Excellent.
Ball tossed back into play. And the ruck this time around was Tucker for St Kevin's. And the umpire will call for it.
Dangerous part of the quarter here for St Kevin's. It's at the Old Brighton half-forward line. We're into time on. They don't want to concede another one at this stage of the game.
Tucker just palms that ball out towards the side. Bank on that occasion, picked up now by Hill, out towards Lowen, who just sinks the slipper into it, up towards the forward line. It beats all Cummins. I think Dick's taking the mark. In fact, it's Richardson. Charlie Richardson marks about 30 out, just led in his lap.
It did. That's obviously the breeze just affecting the ball. It was a bit of a floating kick, but geez, it's one of those frustrating ones as a coach. I mean, it's a 50-50 ball at that half-forward line, but you know the ramifications if you lose it. It's exactly this. So
6 goals last week. Charlie Richardson is a part of a 98-point win in the reserves. Was a part of last year's.
There's a 19th man on the field for Old Brighton.
There is a dog on the field, well away from the play, so Richardson's going to ignore it completely. Charlie Richardson. From 35 out, starts at left. It's not going to quite lend the distance. There was an early fly. I think it might have been Hamish Dick going over the top, but no mark taken nonetheless. The first blemish on the scoreboard for Old Brighton. They moved to 6-1-37. St Kevin's 29 points in the rears as we're 22 going in the first term for TLC Healthcare.
Actually, get that dog's name. We could use him at centre-half back next week.
you'd use it as a boundary line.
Long kick, and that is just going to land inside the field of play. It came off the hands there of Josh Carr, who got a very late fist on the ball, almost punched it into the ground from an inch off the turf. And another boundary throw in on that right half forward flank here for Old Brighton. Of course, that injury update early on Jack Marnie, thanks to Author Sport Victoria.
And we haven't seen Tom Jock again either, so that is a bit of a concern there.
Major concern. Cal Cummins will be all over that at quarter time, and he goes into the St Kevin's huddle. Campeely couldn't shark the head out, so turned tackler and tackled illegally. Cam Hodges, who's used to that by now, gets the free kick on the half-back flank. I reckon he was tackled about 30 times last week, Cam Hodges. He was a proper bull in the stoppages. He just sets his kick up long down the line. Kazitsky's got a fly. Carr got hands to it. Couldn't complete the mark. Comes off hands. Cork was in there. Kick was smothered. Comes out now to Hill. He had a bit of a fumble. Then he goes and applies the tackle. Umpire waves play on. Parola sweeps a hand pass out. Duke can keep it in the field of play. No. He just lost his footing a bit, and that was enough to take it out of play. And it'll be a boundary throw in. Just attacking side of the wing here for St Kevin's, who could really do with a second goal before quarter time. They currently trail by 29 points. Tossed in. Carr, front spot, punches it forward 15 metres. It's a little scrappy kick towards half forward here for St Kevin's. They're going to get a look at it here. Hand pass wasn't very good though. And then Billy Bryan, I'm not sure what he was thinking he was trying to do there.
I don't think he was thinking that.
I think that was just a hit and hold. He's crashed illegally into McNabb, and the number 41 will take the free kick, and he goes short to Burnell. Hands it now to George Hill, who goes up towards half forward. Off hands, play on call. Campeely sweeps a hand pass forward. Carianas, good turn. Back to Campeely again. It's opened up here for him on the left. He goes with a clipping towards the forward pocket. Lovely vision. Good transition football from Old Brighton. Not getting carried away with the breeze. And a neat little kick inside 50 gives them an opportunity to go back for another goal. And it's Hamish Dick will be looking for his second.
And they were lining up there for that one, Matty. There was Old Brighton players everywhere there. That was excellent vision and a beautiful just lay-up kick too. But what's a bit concerning is all St Kevin's defenders then just run at the ball carrier. You don't all need to go at him. One goes at the ball carrier and everyone else just covers off the next option. And their leading options open everywhere.
Hamish Dick with 3 straight for the year. Oh, and he's hit the post there.
No, that was a play. That's a goal.
I was going to say, is that a goal? That's confused me because I saw the post crashed into there.
Ran into the post, it looked like.
Well, it's a goal. Well, they fooled me, but not the goal umpire. Hamish Dick has just got his second. 7-1-43. Old Brighton can't miss at the moment. St Kevin's 1-2-8 on the TLC Healthcare scoreboard in this opening term. Hugo, we're approaching 25 minutes ago.
I was just going to say that, Matty. At the 24.5-minute mark, it's gone from St Kevin's half-forward line, just with clinical display of possession football by Brighton. Almost another coast-to-coast goal. We're seeing a lot of this now. It's a bit pattern forming.
Well, as the old saying goes, you can't judge a wicket until both teams have had a bat. That's certainly going to be the case for St Kevin's kicking with the breeze.
Would you have batted first today or would you bowl?
Oh, it's definitely a bat kind of day.
Yeah, I think so.
Put runs on the board.
Bat 11 times out of 10.
Yes, I think so.
You want to revise your goal advantage again, Hugo? Or?
No, yeah, I think it's up to about a 6-goal precinct, actually. I'm concerned about the
picking up as we say. 7-1 the Tunners, 1-2 St Kevin's. It's a 35-point lead to the reigning premiers. Hamish Dick out the middle, didn't even get hand the ball, he just sunk the slipper into it. But it's going to be coming straight back. Delamitra takes the mark, basically in line with the centre circle, just inside the centre square. And 50 metres.
It's a bonus into the breeze today.
Not quite see what it was, maybe someone in the protected area.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
so this will bring George Delamitra well within scoring range. Harry Hill stands on the mark, about 25 out directly in front.
I reckon with the breeze, this might be right on his range.
I'll tell you what, it's an important kick in the context of the game. To get one back just before quarter time and then going with the breeze next quarter. And look, the breeze is probably more a psychological factor as well. Well, it doesn't give you an advantage, but another goal back would be very handy.
A career high 26 possessions last week for George Delamitra. He captained the 2024 Under-19 Grand Final St Kevin's side. That one's strung out to the right. Lands inside the field of play. Tucker couldn't quite take the mark. Still lands inside. Montanaro kept the ball alive. Little toe poke balls forward, but Tunners, they've got all the numbers on the far side of the ground. Tweedy just rips the cords and sends it up towards half forward. Pryor watched it closely. Ball comes out towards the side, picked up here by Jones. Not a clean hand to it. All the Tunners come swarming in. Hill and Howden were amongst those, and we get a stoppage this time. A true centre wing on the far side of the ground.
Did well there, Jones, because if Pryor had got that ball, he was away and gone. So they've done well to hold them up. Need to win this clearance here and get a bit of forward time football for the SKOBers.
Coates virtually uncontested there. I think Hamish Dick was the other ruckman. Kicking it high up in the air was Tom Howden. Mark will be paid. That's a great grab going back with a flight. Strong grab. I think that might be Fisher down there. It's a terrific grab. Mark of the day contender for 40 winks. High kick up towards half forward. Oh, Richardson with a big fly over the top. Took two with him, but brought it to ground. And it will be a ball up inside attacking 50 again for Old Brighton. 27.5 gone in this opening term. And it's a 35-point lead to the Tunners.
And that was Harry Hill who took that fantastic mark out on the leg.
My apologies.
It's all right.
Terrific grab. Hamish Dick is in there. He's trying to apply the tackle. He's got a taste for the big sticks now. Hamish, and he wants more. 4 straight for him now for the year. It's 1930 for him last season, so he's worked hard at the goal kicking. Here he is again competing in the ruck. Looks to get the hand pass away. Strong tackle applied there by Ryan Agg. Locks things up.
A little bit of afters as well between the two sides. The tensions just start to boil over ever so slightly.
Yeah, there's a couple. It might be someone might have lost their jumper there. Coates with a tap straight to Hamish Dick. Can he get away? Not quite. Coates wins the hand pass, and then the kick comes out wide, too wide, out of bounds on the full. So it'll be a free kick here to Jonah Campili, who might fancy himself, or Finn Campili rather. He'll be where the 50 intersects the boundary. Outside 50 and a tough angle, but not beyond him.
A left footer, certainly capable.
Very confident here, Finn Campili. Kicked one last week, 25 touches and a goal. He's going to give it a good shot. He has hooked it a bit. He never looked likely, and it was always to the near side. 7-2-44 Old Brighton. St Kevin's 1-2-8. That's on the TLC Healthcare scoreboard, and it's nearly 30 minutes gone here in this first half.
St Kevin's to bring the ball back into play, courtesy of the broadcast wing. Goes a little bit more corridor than anticipated, and Fisher takes one of the easiest intercept marks that you'll ever see. He rolls around towards the wing. Agg offered a lead towards the pocket, goes over the top of him, drops into the hole. Pryor almost took the mark. Travers on the boundary, snaps it across the face. It lands at the goal square. That's a lovely mark. Harry Hill just taking over, going back with the flight. This will be all but certain for an 8th first quarter goal for the Tunners. Just a lazy 33 last week, and a goal as well for the skipper. And he's already got one in the first term today, Harry Hill. Old Brighton, they move to 8-2-50. St Kevin's 1-2-8. It's a 42-point lead, not even 30 minutes gone in the first.
It's a bit ominous, this, but the concerning thing for mine was that exit kick from St Kevin's. Everyone was going boundary wide, and it came in corridor just basically to an unmanned Old Brighton player. So I think they're trying to get a little bit too much distance out of the back half. St Kevin's, they need to retain possession a little bit more.
I mean, I know you've sort of been speaking about change the angles, try not to do the same thing, but you've got to have blokes there when you want to do that.
Correct. But in that situation, with the context of the game, that should have been a wide kick just inside the boundary and killed over the boundary line, where you're trying to just slow the game down and make sure we get a chance of a stoppage on the wing.
Hugo Higginbotham, special comments thanks to Hit IQ. Harry Hill out of the middle again, kick up to half forward. Travers has got it, 60 from goal. He's going to just have a go, Travers! He's going to go all the way! Oh, he had the distance, but the breeze just carried it across to the right. Well, within 60, you've got a bit of time and space. Why not? 8-3-51 Old Brighton, St Kevin's 1-2-8.
No one in the goal square there, Matty, either.
Got a bit of a licence to do that here at this ground. It's really, really breezy today. There's McKenna. Marks in the back pocket. Old Brighton, 43 points to the good as we're closing in on quarter time. Kicks it out towards the back flank. An early flying over the top. Kajitsky, no mark taken. Burnell crumbed it at ground level. Coates, the big man doing the crumbing. It's a bit unusual. Handball comes out towards the side. Richards goes back to go forward. The 1-2 was good with Coates, and Richards is streaming through the middle of the Brighton Beach Oval. Kick sits up in the breeze. It's going to be coming straight back. Fanning slipped up. Chance here for St Kevin's. Handball goes back. Jack Beck. Gus Corp giving it some markers as well. Free kick, Old Brighton. Players resume to their feet now. Gus Cork has been in fine form. He sends a really high ball up towards Felix Flocker. No mark taken. Lovely crumb there from Goodger to Finn Campili, and he switches things up. It's a really, really good kick that found Pryor. Still inside the centre square here, the Tunners, and a long kick towards half forward. Hart's in the hole, flying over the top. Agg, no mark taken. At the back there was McKenna, did well just to hold himself onto his feet. Flicks one over the top. St Kevin's looking to hold things up so slightly as the quarter time siren sounds. What an opening quarter for Old Brighton. 8-3-51 to 1-2-8.
And it looks like there's a little bit of more push and shove going on in the aftermath as well. What a time here at Brighton Beach Oval. What a start for the Tunners, a 43-point advantage. With the breeze, and Cummins will have a go at the second term, and the advice will be back. Hugo Higginbotham, special comments for Hit IQ. Your thoughts on that opening term?
Well, that was pretty comprehensive by Brighton. I know we've got a 5 to 6 goal breeze, but the way they used the ball was very impressive. There was no getting carried away with the breeze there and just bombing it long down the line. Everything was just straight to an unattended player, retaining possession, just using the ball really well, and that was very evident there on the scoreboard. And efficient kicking, very efficient kicking. So, and look, just from the St Kevin's point of view, I think they were under the pump there. The ball was being used really well. It's extremely hard to defend when they're retaining possession. And probably the breeze psychologically plays a factor. But I think St Kevin's also have a few injury concerns on the bench there. I think Tom Jocko didn't come back out that quarter, and I think Marnie may have a little bit more of an issue in the shoulder. I think I noticed them putting a bit of ice on that. So as soon as ice comes out,
no.
So we'll keep an eye on that one, and we'll basically keep an eye on those injuries. I'm just trying to look and see if I can see the medical trainers attending to anyone over there at the moment. It's not really. But it was an interesting quarter. It was all Old Brighton here at Brighton Beach Oval.
For Author Sport Victoria, Cal, have you got the goal kickers there? Might just rattle through.
Sure do, yeah. Burnell and Hamish Dick with a couple. Hill, Karayanis with singles alongside Pryor and Travers, but just the one for St Kevin's the way of Jack Bank.
Well, it's an awful lot of work to do for St Kevin's here in this second term, a 43-point advantage. We will take a quick break here at Brighton Beach Oval. On Brian, with all the running here on that opening term, this is the VAFA Williambuck match of the day here on vafa.com.au and SEN. 43-point lead to the Tunners at quarter time.
VAFA action is back, and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45 p.m.
Are you thinking about pulling on the boots and having a kick in 2026? If so, we'd love to have you in the VAFA. Australia's largest senior footy competition has teams suited to all ages and experience, from under-19s to seniors. Log on to vafa.com.au, check out our club directory and find a club near you.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for one male and one female player aged 20 years or under who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the VAFA Rising Stars for 2026. So if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Stay up to date with all the latest from the Victorian Amateur Football Association with the brand new VAFA app. Stay connected with live scores, fixtures, stats and news from across the Victorian Amateur Football Association right at your fingertips. Download the VAFA app today from the App Store or Google Play and never miss a moment.
Keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA by subscribing to our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook and LinkedIn. Has someone just taken a screamer or kicked goal of the year? Send us your best and we might share them around the league. Join in the fun with all the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. They're all on VAFA socials. Search VAFA and VAFA Women's on your favourite platforms.
Listen in to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on SEN's new no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45 p.m. Listen via the app.
Quarter time here at Brighton Beach Oval. Old Brighton with all the momentum so far. 43-point advantage with the breeze against St Kevin's. 8-3-51. Old Brighton St Kevin's 1-2-8. This is the VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Match of the Day on Community TV and SEN. And of course, if you are here at Brighton Beach Oval, you can enjoy the commentary in real time via SEN Stadium technology via the SEN app, available for iPhone and Android, and it works with Apple CarPlay and Android Audio. The wonders of technology. 8-3-51 to 1-2-8. Matthew Donald is my name. I've got Hugo Higginbotham with me in special comments. Thanks to Hit IQ. Hugo, a dominant start from Old Brighton, but St Kevin's have got their turn with the breeze now. They've got to make it count.
Absolutely, Matty, and they've got to realise the breeze is not going to do it for them. The format has been shown to them by Old Brighton there, so it's lower the eyes, maintain possession, don't panic and bomb the ball long, and basically use the wind to their advantage, but don't get carried away with it. So first thing they have to do is they've got to get their hands on the ball and retain possession. It seems like it's just appeared a little bit that they're always one possession away from a turnover. They just need to retain a little bit.
We'll go around the grounds now, though, thanks to the Glen Ferry Hotel. Though, what have you got for us, Hugo?
Okay, so St Bernard's 1-2-8 trailing Old Scotch out there at the Snowdog venue. 3-3-21, Uni Blacks 3-1-19, Uni Blues 2 goals straight 12 at Toorak Park.
We'll get to the rest of them in a minute. We've got Cal Cummins with Anthony Lynch, who's just giving some final instructions there. Very specific, I think that's George Dimitru, the former under-19s captain that Cal alluded to earlier. They've broken away now, so we'll head down to ground level. Cal has got Anthony Lynch, the coach of St Kevin's, with him.
Yeah, guys, Anthony Lynch alongside me. What'd you make of that opening quarter?
Horrific. It was frustrating, mate. Who'd want to coach, eh? It's just so frustrating. They're a very good team and you need everything to go right. We had a lot go wrong. So, yep, well, let's see if we can fight and get back in the game here, mate.
A couple of injuries in that opening quarter. Got any update on those?
Yeah, unfortunately, Jock did a hammy in the first 10 seconds of the game, so he's done, and Marnie's hurt his shoulder, so he won't come back on. So we're down to 20, so we're going to find out a bit about our group right now.
Oh, good. Best of luck.
Well, thank you for that there, Cal and Anthony Lynch. And I mean, that's about as bad a quarter as you're going to get. You lose 2 and you're 7 goals down on the board. You go, it's going to be an almighty win if they get up from here.
Yeah, look, coaching's a tough gig. You can see the frustration in play with that situation there, but you just got to put that behind you now and start to work yourself back into the game. And you're going to break it down into moments, Matty.
And the moment starts here in the second term. St Kevin's kicking with the breeze, but it's Old Brighton with a 43-point advantage. Coates using his physicality. At the first stoppage, illegally, the free kick going the way of Felix Flockhart, who's starting to determine the ruck after Josh Carr did so much damage in the opening term. And it's going to be Old Brighton who get the first clearance. Flockhart with a high kick inside, attacking 50. Fly over the top, no mark. Roved by Pryor. Can he gather it cleanly? He does. Feeds a hand pass away. Snap towards goal. Has gone across the face. It's going to bounce inside the field of play. And St Kevin's will look to work it out. Dimitru couldn't keep it in play. And it's going to be a boundary throw in right in front of us. It's the closest we've been to the action all day, Hugo. Inside the left forward pocket here for Old Brighton.
Yes, it certainly was. A bit too physical by Willie Coates in the middle of the ground there, which gave Old Brighton the first entry, but very unlucky with that shot on goal. And that was just the breeze holding it up. So we'll just see what St Kevin's can make of this.
So it'll be Coates doing the ruck work inside defensive 50 here for St Kevin's. And it's Kutcher who does it as well for Old Brighton. Tumbling kick towards goal, trying to crash through was McKenna. Hand pass comes out to Big Billy Coates. His kick was smothered, and then Duke spins out of trouble nicely and sweeps a hand pass out in front of the running Dimitru, who gathers it, just about gets away from Flockhart, handles it to his own advantage and looks to run now, Dimitru. Kicks it long up the line towards half forward, over the head of all and sundry. Here's Bank running back towards goal, got to beat a couple, although they've done well here, Old Brighton. Cork, the hand pass to McNabb. His hand pass was charged down. Dimitru again applying pressure, locks things up, and wouldn't you believe it, on that half-forward flank, it's going to be a ball up. Hugo, the rest of the round of grounds, if you've got those.
Yes, so that's an interesting one there at Toorak Park, Matty. We've got Old Trinity leading Old Zads. It's Trinity 2-3-15. Zads 1 goal straight.
It's been tossed in, and the hand pass comes inside 50. McNabb going to try and retrieve it. Goes with a high kick down the line. Goodger in best position, and he takes a good mark in front of McKenna.
Impressive young kid, Ollie Goodger, just in his second senior game.
And he was...
Welcome back, Cal.
Oh, gets 14 disposals and 7 tackles last week for Goodger. That kick's gone over the head of Pryor. Seeger out to Pryor. Just gets a kick away to Burnell. He couldn't get a hand pass away, but he was held without it. And he'll get the free kick. He'll be about 70 metres out from goal. He wastes no time. High inside attacking 50. Ag flew, got hands to it. Brought to ground. Bouncing ball towards the goal square here. Nervous times for St Kevin's. Andriski gets the hand pass away. Here's Travers, kept his feet. Over now to Richardson. Sweeps a hand pass. Great trap by Pryor. Snaps towards goal. Blazes away and well wide and out of bounds on the full. And Cal Cummins, who survived the opening quarter onslaught from Anthony Lynch, is with us, and he'll call the kick back into the field of play.
I tell you, I was holding my breath a bit because that was a bit of a poor quarter from the Scullers. But
so just to confirm, because the wind sort of got in the way, Jock and Marnie done for the day?
Both done for the day, that is right, yep. With a shoulder and a hammy respectively.
And we've got the ball lost in the middle of South Road here, which happens quite a bit on this ground. A patron has kicked it
straight into the fence.
Into the fence, and it's gone behind him. It's on the other side of South
That's
Road.
why he's on that side of the fence.
Yeah.
The injury update thanks to Author Sport
I
Victoria.
think he's done a hammy too, Paul, isn't it?
A team of 13 skilled Melbourne orthopaedic surgeons specialising in treating musculoskeletal conditions and injuries. Cal.
Yep, so St Kevin's down to 2 on the bench for the remainder of the contest. A long ball out from Hart towards the wing position. Both Kaczynski and Coates had a bit of it. Neither could actually take the mark in the end. The umpire's going to be called into duty on centre wing. We're getting the ball up. 8-3-51 the Tunners, 1-2-8 St Kevin's. The reigning premiers really flexing their muscles in that opening quarter. But what I heard as well in that quarter-time address from Anthony Lynch saying, the wind is one thing, but we've got to be clean up, particularly below the feet. They are really, really poor in that opening quarter, below the knees. Let's see what St Kevin's can do. Nice little clearing kick goes up towards half-forward, up towards Bank. He had it punched away from him at the final time of asking. A little spinning move there on that occasion from Marnie. He cuts inside Karianis, did well to pick it up, then Seeger. McNabb had to go in, knew he was going to get hit, just palmed it forward ever so slightly. Travers, nice slick hands, up towards Karianis, flicks it on the outside hill. Campili, Seeger next to the chain. It's all silky stuff from Old Brighton, up towards Richardson.
Well, that was clinical. That was absolutely clinical. There was no panic, no rush. They moved the ball fast, maintained possession, had a little bit of luck there as well. But Geordie Seeger, probably one of the best kicks in the VAFA as well. Just lowered the eyes beautifully, and that was one of the most perfectly weighted kicks you'll ever see. Just complete composure out there. This is actually the third entry for Old Brighton already in this quarter.
They look like the better team into the breeze, which is quite remarkable. Charlie Richardson, he's probably sick of hearing it, but he's the grandson of a particular Bartlett. Let's see if he can kick like the great KB. Richardson will kick from about 35 on a 45-degree angle. And that one is pure. Old Brighton with the first of the second. They string out to a remarkable 49-point advantage. And I don't think anyone expected what we're seeing here today.
No. Well, I sort of said that we'll probably know where St Kevin's at by the end of today. And
we're learning a lot early.
I think we are, yeah. I think we are. It's a developing group. We've seen a lot of changing of the guard there from last season to this season. So there's look, they get down to 2 on the bench as well. It's going to affect them as the game goes on. But it's probably just one possession that lets them down in a chain of 4 or 5. At the moment, Old Brighton are just clinical. And Geordie Seeger was immense in that. He started that chain and he finished it off. So
6 unanswered now for Brighton.
Just looking at the stats for Charlie Richardson, I haven't seen a handball recorded to his name just yet, which probably shouldn't surprise many.
Well, his grandfather didn't have one.
Free kick out of the middle to Xavier Duke for St Kevin's. Spears a pass inside 50. Will Mazzio is there. Can he pick it up? He can. Gets a hand pass away to George Dillamitru, who dribbles home a goal. Against the run-of player, but a couple of young guns combined there for St Kevin's. Mazzio with a hand pass out. The former under-19 skipper dribbles through a badly needed goal for St Kevin's. 2-2-14. They still trail a long, long way. 43 points. Old Brighton, 9-3-57. 6 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Thanks to McCormack Property Services, Hugo.
Well, that was encouraging, that one. You like to see that, the fast break from the centre, and it's always good when you get the ball to one-on-ones, which you haven't seen a lot of today for St Kevin's. There's always been a congestion, so ball out of congestion, and then a nice little snapshot on goal. So very good. Just need a few more now.
It'll be Flockhart v Coates in the middle. Coates won the ball down, trying to charge through there was Fisher. Hill applies the tackle. Umpire crossed his chest immediately. We're still inside the bullseye here by the beach. Flockhart and Coates, neither of them actually got a hand to it. Both were just wrestling each other. Banks been thrown into the middle, trying to strip the footy off of Hill and then shrug him to the ground. Jack Banks, that was strong. Handballs are forward out towards a running Pfeiffer. He was being leashed onto by 2 Tunners, one of which was Howard, and he continues to follow up in a second and a third effort. And a lovely move there by Mazzio. Smothered. Flockhart gathers. Handballs on the outside. Howden, Flockhart. George Hill's got to go in there. He was alongside that of Hodges. And Old Brighton can march their way along the wing. Going to be gathered this time around by Matheson. He flicks it on by hand towards Walsh. One more handball. St Kevin's just got to try and find a bit more territory, but Brighton are hot on their heels. Matheson, a little dribble kick along the line. It's a hot footy at the moment on the far side. Brighton Beach Oval. Going to be coming back the other way. Duke on the wing was upended, then he sends a kick up towards half forward by one bounce. It's been a lasso free kick. It's going to be coming back the Brighton's way.
So they've got it a half-back call to go now by the umpire. The short kick up the line to Fisher, who marks despite the attentions of Duke. Marks defensive side of the wing on the far side of the ground. Geordie Seeger in an acre of space with the kick in board. And he's happy to go further infield to Campili. who is happy to draw the man and then feed the hand pass across. And then one more. Here's Howden now on the right boot. Clips a kick inside, attacking 50. Dick's got to beat 4 in the air. Oh, the bounce was just cruel for Goodger in the end. Otherwise, he was in. Hill has to apply the tackle and lock things up. 25 metres out from Old Brighton's goal.
It's still, directly in front. It still looks easy for Brighton.
Yeah, they work hard. You just watch them off the ball. They're giving each other that many options, and second and third options as well, and it just rolls up the field. They run in waves. They have a really good format.
Dillamitru caught in a strong tackle there by Goodger, so we'll do it again. Coates taps it. Goodger, he's pinned by one arm. Good tackle. And it'll be locked up once more.
Look, Old Brighton are the reigning premiers, and they are basically getting better as the years go on, because Marcel Bruin's had them for a few years now, so the system and the structures are getting tweaked and getting better.
McNabb gives it and gets it back from Hill and snaps and scores! A goal! All clear, says the goal umpire. Luca McNabb continues his strong start to the season. 40 disposals last week, if you don't mind, and now he's got a goal. 10-3-63, Old Brighton, 2-2-14, St Kevin's, and that's on the McCormack Property Services scoreboard in this second quarter.
And I'm marking that one down for a goal of the day, Matty, contender, because that was an amazing left foot snap coming around, considering the bruise and everything like that. So a lovely goal, lovely shot on goal. Geez, they get a good spread of goal kickers at Brighton too, don't they? There's no real one focal point. They don't care who kicks the goal. They're just basically right position and right person to kick the goal. And there's a bit of a bloodbath going on at Turak Park, Matty. It's 5-3 to 1 goal straight. Trinity over Old Zabs.
The T's, they are really causing a bit of a boil over. No one saw that one coming.
Yeah, you wrote them off before the call.
I did. I did. Proving me wrong within about an hour. Burnell on all fours alongside Hodges. It's really, really hard in the middle of the Brighton Beach Oval. You can hear the thuds of boots. Handball comes out towards the wing. It's off hands. Diving over the top there was Duke. And the umpire's found a free kick. It's going to go the way of the Scobbers. Xavier Duke, coming off 18 possessions last week. He punches it up in towards the forward line. That is a beautiful kick. St Kevin's with a chance at a rare goal. And Sammy Tucker, I believe this is. He will turn his back, face the goals. He's about 30 out directly in front.
He was a shining light for their forward line last week, Tucker, so he's continuing on there. But that's just a beautiful kick, and kick to advantage of a good forward like that is going to be a mark every day.
3 goals last week for Tucker. That one's dead straight, no problems. So goal for goal here in the second. Old Brighton there, 10-3. St Kevin's are still a long way in the rears. 3-2-20 the margin, 43.
Yeah, that was good play by St Kevin's there. It's probably trying to keep the ball in their forward half a little bit more is what they need to focus on now. It's still coming up to the Brighton forward line way too much, considering the breeze. They need to play more front half footy, St Kevin's, but Brighton are very good at using the ball laterally and up into the breeze, so that's where St Kevin's need to shut them down.
2 goals apiece to start this second term. Carr with the tap down. It's going to be one here by Fisher, who goes inside 50, comes over the back. Dick, lovely little flick onto Richardson. An illegal one to throw. KB was on his way to go. He wasn't passing that one off, but he's going to have to now, because he's going to have to give it back to St Kevin's. Free kick to Angus Hart, and the moment has passed. We all got a bit excited there. It was very, very slick football. Walsh going to give it back to Hart. And he wastes no time, looks to bring it out this side to Andriski, who's gone out on the right back flank. Wants to come in board, and does so with a raking kick up towards the wing. Crosses the halfway mark, comes over the back now. Dillamitru's got to be clean, he is. Over to Mazzio, or in fact it's Bank rather. On the left boot, inside, full forward. Kaczynski, Critchley got it. Tucker in the end. I'll get it right on the third go. Just shout out names and you'll land it on eventually. Well, Tucker's had a good couple of minutes here. He's kicked the goal. He's got a chance to double his tally here. He'll be 20 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
It is. Once again, long ball deep into one-on-ones. You like to see that. This will be pleasing for the St Kevin's faithful.
Around the body, Tucker. No problems. He's got 2. And St Kevin's have 2 in a row. 4-2-26, 10-3-63, Old Brighton. That was a good bit of football there from St Kevin's. Slowly trying to chip away at this deficit. 12.5 gone here in this second term for McCormack Property Services.
No, it was very good there, the way they did. That was almost a coast-to-coast transition, which is encouraging. So it was great work by Andriski down there, get the ball long, and then just that little chain of hands, and Benk, bit of a dangerous player, Benk. That was a lovely left foot kick to a dangerous spot, and Tucker's got the hot hand at the moment, as we say, Matty.
Yeah, and Kazitsky's on the bench, and Critchley doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, he's up the country somewhere. So
the number 11 has thrown a couple of curveballs. So
yes.
It's probably, I think there's 3 players who I feel like do wear 11 for St Kevin's. One of those numbers.
So umpire's a little bit slower in resuming hostilities. It'll be Carr v Coates in the middle, as we're almost halfway through this second term for McCormack Property Services. Old Brighton by 37. Carr, athletic as ever, won the ball down only as far as Greenham, who's happy to roll the ball forward. Handballs it out towards the outside that found Pfeiffer. He steps inside, slick hands, not quite. Cut down, Brighton coming back the other way. Along the wing they go on the far side of the ground. Richardson was in a one-on-one alongside Andriski, and he was just pretty content in seeing that ball over for a boundary throw in.
It's a good match up there, Richardson and Andriski. It's one to watch. They're sort of different players. Andriski's a physical player, whereas Richardson's a bit dynamic, so it's an interesting match-up. Oh.
Umpires found a free kick. There is a ton of down behind play. It's Tom Fisher.
Oh, and the boundary umpire over there is furious because he was about to throw the ball in for the first time today.
He's down on all fours, Tom Fisher. Hard to really tell what the issue is at this stage.
There was no St Kevin's player around him, so if anyone did have an impact with him, they got out of their vicinity pretty quickly.
You're just hoping this isn't like an off-the-ball sort of like an Achilles knees limping on that right knee. That is not looking good for Tom Fisher. He's putting absolutely no weight into that right leg at this stage.
No, but the trainers around him carrying him off the ground virtually, so that's not good.
Best on ground in last year's grand final, Tom Fisher, 26 possessions, 16 of them contested, 10 clearances and a goal. A Team of the Year representative last year. This is not good news for Old Brighton. St Kevin's already lost 2 stars of their own. Marcel Bruin might be losing one of his.
Author Sport Victoria. It's a bad day as far as injuries are concerned. Tom Jock and Jack Money both out for St Kevin's. And you'd be surprised if we see Fisher backed it all today.
Yeah, that's not looking good at all.
He's starting to weight bear on that day, so...
Very, very little. Yeah. It was 0, as you were saying, Hugo, but now probably only 10 or 20% of weight going through that right leg as he's held off by the trainers. And play will resume directly opposite side of the ground. South Road wing, we are neutral territory. It's Old Brighton by 37 points halfway through the second quarter. Carr from front spot just grabs it out the ruck and just ended up sort of volleyball spiking that ball forward. Turning around there, Greenham just swings the right boot around. He's going to be coming straight back. Hill was courageous. Coates was going back with the flight. Hill goes diving in over the top. Richards closely watching him. And the umpire will call forward, ball up.
Very good play by Harry Hill there. He had player awareness because he knew Big Billy Coates was around him. It's probably not the player you want to run backwards into.
One of the last.
Yep, no, I wouldn't have him high up on the list. Pfeiffer just tries to force it forward. It's turned over. Spiral kick up towards half forward. Come off hands. Walsh is in there. And then Drisky might have been caught high by Richardson. Umpire said play on. He's locked up and it'll be a stoppage just inside forward 50 here for the Tunners.
And Drisky's been wearing Richardson like a glove. So Richardson really enjoyed that tackle. He got one back.
Coates grabs it out of the right. Now, umpire won't play on there. Benefit of the doubt. Oh, and then going in hard there. That was good courage shown by that St Kevin's player there. Couldn't quite pick up who it was.
I think it was Hodges.
Might have been Hodges. Wow, surprising no one. Tough as nails, Cam Hodges. Very good in the midfield for St Kevin's last week.
Bit of confusion as to who was going to take the ruck battle there for Old Brighton.
Might be the bloke who's done pretty much all of it, Carr. Kicked out of there by Green Eggs and Ham. Out towards the back flank. Gathered there by Billy Bryan. Walsh, he was caught by Pryor. Dispossessed, well, illegally by Pryor. Was taken high. Noel Walsh with a free kick at half back. And he wanted to switch it, thought about it. Looked. He said he's going to go with a short kick. Here he is again. Zane.
Doesn't no options opening up the ground for him. They need to work harder here, St Kevin's.
He's just going to go with a raking kick up towards it up. Oh, this might actually work. Oh, it was a good spoil there by Cork. Got there at the last. They got the kick away to Pryor, and they're away here. They've got space. He has a bounce. Pryor loops a hand pass over the top. Here's Campeely. Goes with a kick up towards a one-on-one. McKenna and Carianas gathered by Ag in space. One way, then the other. Hands it across. Dick snaps and misses. And that's gone. It's gone onto the lawn bowls ground over there, onto a very different kind of green. Footy, cricket and lawn bowls have all got a mention today.
What's fantastic in that is there's about 20 people playing lawn bowls and they have not even made an attempt to go and get the ball. They have completely ignored that.
Hey,
that's fantastic.
That's the furthest one away from the jack.
I like the focus they've got on that.
It's going to be awarded no points. They don't care. They've got no idea.
No interest whatsoever.
That's outstanding.
No, I wouldn't trust them to make the switch. They've got zero peripheral vision, it seems.
They're all
there.
pointing at it now. So there's a ball over here.
But they've seen it.
Get your ball off our green.
In fact, we've managed to find another one.
But the umpires.
No, we need that one. No, we need that one. But it's, as I say, it's nowhere near the jack, so it's not going to count for any points anyway.
No, well,
let's just bring it back.
One gentleman making his way over.
Here we go.
To the footy. We're still probably another minute or two away from getting this game back underway.
He's like my neighbour when he's a kid. He's going to pick it up and take it inside, not throw it back over the fence.
Put a puncture in it. The joys of amateur football here Saturday afternoon.
There we go. We've got another footy out there.
And just as the first foot toss back into the field of play. Oh, it's all happening, as Bill Laurie would say. Now what's going to happen? Now the umpire says, now we've got the original footy back, so we'll use that one. And we'll get rid of the one that we spent all that time trying to get. So after all that...
He was forensic about that umpire too. They had to play with that footy.
McKenna with the kick in. He's had plenty of time to think about it. And he's straight to the skipper, Harry Hill. The last spot you want to kick it to. Too far out to score, so he's going to go into the pocket. And it's going to be fumbled over the line. They got in each other's way there. Boundary throw in, inside, attacking 50 for the Tigers.
Well, there's a number of targets he could have hit. Dick, Richardson, Carianis, they were all in the pocket and couldn't really work it out who was going to take the mark in the end. But nonetheless, a stoppage, 15 out from Old Brighton's goal. Right underneath us here in the pavilion, the Brighton Beach Oval. Old Brighton comfortably the better team on the day. Here goes Harry Hill, closely watching that occasion there by Hodges. Handball comes out towards the side, Dillametra over in the football, Burnell, slick, Ag. Towards the outside, McNabb assesses his options and just pokes it to Seager. Too good.
Your reputation's on the line here, Hugo. What was that about Jordan Seager?
Matty, you've known me long enough. My reputation's in tatters anyway, so I'm not too concerned about that. No, but this guy, Jordan Seager, is one of the best kicks in the VAFA, and right underneath us. Now that I've said that, you watch, this will go back out on the bowl screen. But he's also one of the nicest guys in the VAFA too, Jordan.
Represented the Big V last season, did Jordy Seager. This is a tough kick into the breeze. Leaves a lot for the wind to do. It's going to drop well short. That's a nice mark from Hart, last line defence. Got up really high.
Wasn't the greatest kick, but he's still a lovely guy, Jordy. That doesn't change.
He's going to come towards the broadcast side, is Angus Hart. Crosses the face of goal and drives it out towards the wing. Big fly caught, almost brought down the football. Clearing kick there from Banking towards the corridor. He's going to clear them all in the end. Falls just short. George Hill mops it up. Switches things over towards Goodger, who just takes it up. No, he was impeded. It's a chop of the arms. Ollie Goodger, free kick, offensive side of the wing.
Callum Jones not happy about that. Kicking towards half-forward mark by Campili. Now, if he was with the breeze, he'd back himself from here, but he's probably still got 2 kicks from home. He's going to look to go in short to Richardson. And no way knowing he's hand passing this. He's even figuring out exactly where the mark is.
They've gained no distance with that kick, placing from the same spot.
So Richardson's got a 55 metres out. Called to go now by the umpire. He has to pass. He goes across the field to Travers, and it's not a great result in the end. Trickles out of bounds. Appeals for, well, it might be appeals for a free kick, but it was inside 50, so it's not a last 2. It'll just be a standard boundary throw.
Very heavily congested Old Brighton forward line, so St Kevin's getting numbers behind the ball.
Toss back in. Tucker taking a turn in the ruck. Tackle applied here by Duke. Stoppage. Got it right that time.
You did. I had to check my notes. Which one was it?
So no score for a while. And now, as I say that, it comes out to Burn now. Richards, he was dispossessed. And Hodges, he was dispossessed. Good just stabs towards goal. And it's gone across the face, and we've got our minus score. 10-5, 65, Old Brighton St Kevin's 4-26. It's now a 39-point lead to the Tunners. We've ticked at the time on the second term from McCormick Property Services Scoreboard. St Kevin's always sponsors since 2022. That's mccormick.com.au.
Well, watch his kick in here. They've turned it over a few times, St Kevin's from kick in, so we'll see which way they go with.
Matheson will go out towards the far side of the ground. Kajiki's offering a long lead.
There it is.
A shake. It's coming straight back. Prior marks about 80 from goal. Just lowers the eyes towards Richardson. Falls short of him. Pfeiffer cuts it down. But Jelly, you would have seen it last week. It was a common theme for St Kevin's where they were taking the kick in and just give it straight back.
I was thinking more about Anthony Lynch at quarter time. That's the sort of thing that will grind a coach's gears here.
His gears would be well and truly ground by now. But yeah, it's very frustrating. That. Oh, that's horrible.
That will be called back.
It's not being called back. Hamish Dick was allowed to run in the path of the football, but essentially we get another boundary throw in. It's gone out of bounds.
He gets another chance out of the umpire. That's a good thing about footy. In cricket, when you go out, you spend the rest of the day in the sheds. Footy, you make a mistake, you get another chance in 30 seconds. Even the umpires.
Well, let's get a repeat ball in, shall we? Tucker v Hamish Dick in the ruck, right on the paint of 50. That's a much better throw in. Tucker from the front, just too strong. Brought the ball to ground, kicks it up towards the line, and that's going to be a lasso free kick. No questions asked. Felix Flocker could have easily gathered possession, but he was happy just to see that ball roll over the line. Just defensive side of the wing here, Old Brighton. They lead things by 39 points, 23 and a half gone in this second quarter. It's a really high kick. Asked a lot of his forwards. Tucker went over the top and just killed it by hand. Matheson was on the outside. Umpire watched it closely. He's found a free kick holding the ball.
Okay.
So Old Brighton with a chance. It's going to be Burnell, the recipient of the free kick. He plays on, drops it into the hole. Lovely kick. Ryan Ag didn't have to break stride. Now, this is just in his range. I know he's kicking into the breeze, but Ryan Ag, a real chance for him here.
There were 4 St Kevin's players in the vicinity there. All just turned their head and watched the ball float in, and Ag just came through. They found a gap in there. Not enough intent there at the moment from St Kevin's in this back half of the ground. It's almost like they're a bit shell-shocked.
2 goals last week for Ryan Ag. Spent majority of last year in the reserves. This to extend the margin back out to beyond 40 points. Ryan Ag from 40 out directly in front. Strings it out to the left. And we'll go through for a behind. 66 plays 26. As we're 24 gone second term for the Calling Property Services.
So this has been a real issue in this second term, St Kevin's, from this situation. Matheson is going to run up the line, just drive it long, very long. It's going to get up at half forward. It's going to go inside, attacking 50. That is an enormous kick. It's going to be won here by Old Brighton. Montanaro, neat little sidestep, feigns the kick 2 or 3 times, and then turns it over. Pfeiffer around the body inside 50, and the mark's been taken by Marnie. Elliot Marnie's got it, and he will line up. Oh, that is an extraordinary kick by Matheson. I know he's a big kick.
Does that count as an inside 50?
Well, it is.
Oh, that is an inside 50.
Inside 50.
From full back, he's got an inside 50.
No, I know. That was, well, you can't turn it over when you kick it over the top of everyone, can you?
Yeah. Just when you think you've seen it all,
yes,
something else comes up.
No, it was good. But what St Kevin's did really well there on that exit of the Brighton is they closed off the options, so caused the turnover. Really good by St Kevin's.
Elliot Marnie, 8 disposals and 2 goals for him last week. He needs to get one here. He comes in, the goal umpire looks over his hat. That's gone right through. That's a big kick for St Kevin's. They've been hemmed in inside their defensive 50 for the last 10 minutes. They get one look at goals going forward, and they make a count. Marnie finds the target, and slowly they chip away at St Kevin's. Still a long way to go. But the score now for the McCormick Property Services in this second term, St Kevin's 5-2-32, Old Brighton 10-6-66.
What's concerning though for me, Hugo, and I'll get your take on it, Old Brighton won the first quarter by 43 points. St Kevin's only winning this quarter by 9.
Yeah, that's, look, and Brighton have kicked badly as well. Kicked a lot of points this quarter. So, look, there's still some concerns there. But, you know, the margin's not the hugest one in football, and maybe 1 or 2 before half-time in the St Kevin's favour, just to close that margin a little bit. And it's looking like the wind is starting to drop off a little bit. I mean, it's still gusty, but it's definitely not as strong as it was early.
Margin sits at 34, and a free kick going the way of Old Brighton because Coates crossed the centre line.
Oh.
So it's going to be going Brighton's way. Flockhart off hands to Campili on his wrong right foot. Sends it in towards the hole. No luck could be taken. Andriski didn't actually want the footy in the end. He's dead. He's gone. Free kick. Old Brighton's going to be Charlie Richardson, I believe. There'll be a free kick about 25 out directly in front.
Yeah, you can't try and fend someone off and then go to ground like you didn't have prior opportunity. The umpires like that. But that was just a really good closing tackle by Charlie, and he's actually quite aggressive at the ball carrier too, which is good. Well, all the Brighton team are.
He's the direct replacement for Archie Manton, who we saw last week kick 6 goals. He's gone back up to VFL duty, no surprises. And Charlie Richardson, well, he was in the reserves last week, as I said, kicked 6 goals that day. I'd be surprised to see him out of this team for many weeks beyond this. He's been in fine form, Charlie Richardson. He's on the runway. He'll kick it from 30 out directly in front. The margin stands at 34. Richardson, it's close, it's good. The margin's back out to 40. Charlie has got his second. And the Tunners, they're in cruise control at the minute.
Well, they've got an answer for everything, Brighton, don't they? Every time St Kevin's looked like they put a good patch of football together, Brighton just steady the ship. And that was an excellent kick by Richard. It's been hard to kick goals at this end today because of that breeze, I think. It sort of affects the left to right, but excellent execution there. And a great tackle too by the young fella.
Was.
4 straight to 3-3 in this quarter in favour of St Kevin's. They'd won the term by just 3 points. And given the advantage that, given how dominant Old Brighton were with the breeze in the opening term, 8 goals to 1, you think this is going to be the quarter that ultimately puts Old Brighton in a very strong position. Now Hill out of the middle. Drives a kick out towards the wing. Bouncing footy. Walsh read it nicely. Took a mark in front of Travers.
How have you read George Hill's game so far, Hugo and Davo?
Look, he's been impressive when he's been around the ball. Probably a little bit quieter. He gets getting ready for the speed of the game. It's a little bit of a step up from what he's used to, but don't worry, you can see he's going to be a good player.
Free kick to Bank. Tweedy unhappy with the free kick decision by the umpire, pushing the back.
I reckon Bank's going to have a shot.
He's in range.
He's going to have a shot.
He's about 70 from home.
He might fancy himself. He's going to wheel a long way. He's going to drive it towards goal, and he's got the distance all right, but he was just a little off with the radar. Missed it by about 20 metres.
I was hoping he was going to go for it.
Well, he had to go. He won't dive one like James Beck, but he's kicked it out.
Right, confident in his own abilities, the young lad.
And the kick is taken back into the field of play, and the mark's been taken here. St Kevin's will get another look at it inside 50 here. Hart, he doesn't go for goal. He looks to go towards full forward off hands. Burnell read it nicely. Slides a hand pass away, and then the kick towards the back flank. No mark taken. Richardson's just going to paddle it to himself. He refuses to pick it up and hand pass it. Kazitsky over to Hodges. He was charged down. He was looking for Dillamitru. Coates is in there. Dillamitru picks it up. Now to Pfeiffer. Over the top to Duke. Gets away from Lohan. He might be within range here, Duke. He sets sail for home. The kick's gone across the face, and it's wide. It's scored it over the line of Meyer. Score 5-3-33 St Kevin's. 11-6-72 Old Brighton. 39-point lead. Dying stages here in the second term for McCormick Property Services.
Well, I think we're going to run long because we've had a number of stoppages.
An injury. We had a lawn bowls intervention.
Yes. So we've probably going to go well into the 30s would be my guess. McNabb, love a little sidestep and then goes really long out towards Flockhart v. Coates. Flockhart at front spot, punched away from him. Lovely mop on the back, St Kevin's with a chance. Handball inside, Andrewski was the target. Burnell, slick as ever. Just wanted the footy a bit more and kicks it towards the wing that found Karianis. Even numbers ahead of the ball. Goodges on short. Left him wondering. Campili's on the outside on his left boot. Wanting to get back. Pryor goes towards Goodger. He was clutched by Matheson. And right underneath us, we'll get a ball up. Or a ball in, rather.
Yeah, he knew that was coming then, Goodger, so he just braced for that.
Happy to embrace it.
They got some good ground there, Old God.
Ollie Goodger, 12 goals from 13 games in the under-19s premiership season last year. The boundary umpire hoists it over his head. Coates v. Flockhart at half forward for the Tunners. He beats them all, gets over the back, and Matheson just runs onto the footy and sends it from centre half back out towards half forward. Lands a bit short in the end, over the top of Lowen. Even numbers here, Dillamitru. Even contest, the 222s. And the umpire will says, give it to me.
Great contest between Felix Flockhart and Billy Coates there in the ruck. They're two differing styles, and they're still sanding each other out.
They wrestle each other to the ground. The umpire says play on. Now a quick kick from Hodges inside 50. Comes off hands. Lohan was there. And now it's come out to little mini Mazzio. His kick was smothered. Gains about 5 or so metres. Comes out now. Here's Greenham again to a Billy Bryan. Snaps and scores. Billy Bryan finds the target. Important goal for St Kevin's, who just keep the scoreboard ticking over. 6-3-39. They have kicked 5 goals in this quarter, but they've conceded 3. 6-3-39. Old Brighton 11-6-72. 31 and a half gone in this second quarter for McCormick Property Services. And Hugo, good goal by Bryan, and he's one of those whose name you have to say in full. Sort of compelled, Billy Bryan.
Yes, very. It's always the Billies, isn't it?
Yes.
Billy Bob Thornton, Billy Bryan. Yeah, but that was a great bit of surging football there by St Kevin's. And I'm looking a little bit at the Old Brighton backline. It's a bit of fatigue starting to set in there. They played really well this quarter, but the game that Old Brighton play is very taxing, so we will see that. They're looking for half-time here, the Tunners.
It doesn't quite feel it, but St Kevin's have actually kicked 4 of the last 5 goals of this game. They still find themselves 33 points in the rears. Walsh, lovely pick up towards Andrewski. He sends it up towards the half-forward line. It almost beat him all, but that is a lovely mark from Quinton Montanaro. It was coming at him like a jet. And did well enough to take the in-70 mark and then found McNabb on the far side of the ground. No rush here for Luca McNabb. He sends it from half-back up towards the wing. Coates and Flockhart definitely the targets, and Flockhart from the front. Right on the half-time siren. That is an impressive half, to say the least. Marcel Bruin, he'll be absolutely thrilled. 33 points to the good.
It's 11-6-72 to 6-3-39 in that quarter. It was 3 goals, 3 to 5 goals, 1 in favour of St Kevin's, but still trailing by, as I say, 33 points at the main break. Hugo Higginbotham, our special comments man for Hit IQ, or as Pecci call you, just comments.
That's it.
Your thoughts on that first half?
Yeah, and that is my line too, Simon Pecci stole that. He's the most unoriginal man on the face of the earth. But no, that was, look, St Kevin's worked themselves back into the game that quarter. They got a good run of goals on. Probably didn't capitalise like Brighton. Brighton got off to a flying start, so they're like the man with the wheelbarrow, Matty. The job's in front of them at the moment. So, but yeah, to close the gap a little bit. The wind has dropped off a little bit. The surges briefly, but you're going to be able to kick goals both ends. This is the most important quarter now, the one coming up for St Kevin's.
So let's just do a bit of hypothetical predicting going forward, Hugo. If St Kevin's are coming home with the breeze,
yes,
what sort of margin would you think they'd be comfortable chasing or deficit?
Look, personally, I'd say 3 goals, about 18 points you would want, and then basically you have to really play that disciplined, determined game where you maintain possession, not think the breeze is going to do it for you. But I would imagine about 3 goals. So they need to chip a few away again this quarter, coming up in the third, and then come home in the last. Bearing in mind, Matty, they are 2 down on the pine too. So,
yes.
So rotations are going to have to come. Some of them will have to be on the ground, and some players are going to have to work really hard for longer periods than they're used to.
It may be that Old Brighton are down to 3 on the bench as well. We'll find out more about Tom Fisher during the half-time
Didn't look
break.
good, though, did
no, it certainly didn't. So we hope best-case scenario for him. This is the VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Match of the Day here on Community TV and SN. Half-time at Brighton Beach Oval. It is Old Brighton looking for 20 wins in a row at the venue, who have a 33-point lead at the main break. Stick around. The half-time show coming up right after this.
Match the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45 p.m.
Are you thinking about pulling on the boots and having a kick in 2026? If so, we'd love to have you in the VAFA. Australia's largest senior footy competition has teams suited to all ages and experience, from under-19s to seniors. Log on to vafa.com.au, check out our club directory and find a club near you.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for 1 male and 1 female player aged 20 years or under who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the VAFA Rising Stars for 2026. So if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Stay up to date with all the latest from the Victorian Amateur Football Association with the brand new VAFA app. Stay connected with live scores, fixtures, stats and news from across the Victorian Amateur Football Association right at your fingertips. Download the VAFA app today from the App Store or Google Play and never miss a moment.
Keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA by subscribing to our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook and LinkedIn. Has someone just taken a screamer or kicked goal of the year? Send us your best and we might share them around the league. Join in the fun with all the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. They're all on VAFA socials. Search VAFA and VAFA Women's on your favourite platforms.
Listen in to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on SEN's new no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45 p.m. Listen via the app.
Half-time here at Brighton Beach Oval, the VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Match of the Day, and it is the Tunners who hold the 33-point advantage over St Kevin's as things stand. 11-6-72, St Kevin's 6-3-39. Blustery conditions here at the home of the Tunners, but St Kevin's kicking 4 of the last 5 goals with the breeze in that half to give themselves a chance heading into the second half. Matthew Donald is my name. I got Hugo Higginbotham with me. Cal Cummins has been our play-by-play caller as well throughout the course of the match. We're joined by St Kevin's Old Boy President Pat Mount. Pat, pleasure to have you here. Yeah, welcome again.
Thank you. Yes, it's been an interesting first half, and the wind, as always, down here at Brighton, playing a factor.
What did you make of it from St Kevin's point of view? It was sort of worked your way back into the game in that second term.
Yeah, safe to say I think we got jumped a bit early, and injuries to Tom Jock in the first 10 seconds, and Jack Marnie as well appears to have injured his shoulder, and I don't think either of those boys will be coming back for the remainder of the day. So tough start, but yes, full credit to our guys. They got to rev up from Plugger at quarter time and work their way back into it. But Brighton, to their credit, they're a very well drilled side. Their accuracy in that first quarter was exceptional, which certainly put a bit of scoreboard pressure on our guys. So we've got our work cut out.
One name I've got to ask you about. We had his major in the rushed goals column, which is the thing when we don't actually know who kicked it. To our little in-joke. Jack Bank, making his debut for St Kevin today, last minute in. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, so obviously he's aligned with St Kilda in the VFL. So we were obviously patiently waiting for confirmation what was happening with the VFL side of things. But yeah, he comes to us this year from St Bede's Mentone, where he was a star last year in Premier C. He has a number of close connections to players at our club. And yeah, he's a real live wire. I remember watching him on a Friday night in under-19 Premier a few years ago. And that was the year we made the grand final, and he absolutely torched us. So he can beat you in the air, he can beat you on the ground. He really knows where the goals are. So as you saw with that first goal, with that left foot snap from about 40 out, he can do some damage. So if we are to get back into it, I'm hoping that Banger is heavily involved. So yeah, he's a star.
He's already got a nickname, so he's well and truly at home. Yep. This is a halftime show for Bell Property. Obviously, today is a significant day on the calendar for Australia and New Zealand, far beyond the realms of just football. What does it mean for your club to be involved in commemorating Anzac Day?
Yeah, I mean, for it to actually fall on Anzac Day today adds an extra significance. And last year we were away at De La Salle, and they did a great ceremony, as Brighton have done today. It's just a special day to pay our respects to those who've served. And you know, last year at De La, we were lucky enough, one of our recent players, Tom Gleeson, who also happens to be my cousin, Tom served in the Australian Army for 7 years and then was involved in the pre-game last year, because he also then, after his time in the Army, he came back and played in our Rezzies for a number of years as a very tough customer at fullback. But yeah, it's just such an important day on our calendar, and whether it's AFL or local footy, to pay those respects is really important.
So, Paddy, you're here at Old Brighton enjoying the festivities for lunch, which is always one of the probably pleasing.
Rodney Hogg was very entertaining.
Mate, how old are his jokes?
Yeah, those jokes you could. I think they date back to the Jurassic period. They're that old.
But anyway, no, it was entertaining. So in the next coming weeks, because obviously you've got a big program there at St Kevin's. You've got the 19s, you've got the women's. You plan to get around and spread yourself around and try and get as many of those things in as you can?
I do. So last week I was here at Brighton at the 9:20 game for our women's premier. We have a new coach in that team, Jamie Pye, who takes over from Tom Purcell, which is some very big shoes to fill.
Yes.
So the girls had a great win last week, and I think they're fighting against Fitzroy today in a fairly even contest. And then 19s, we've got 3 sides, so added that team, the under-19 threes this year. So it is hard to spread myself around. But yeah, like I never thought we'd go from 10 teams last year to 11 this year, but we have. So it's just a huge effort from the parents and the volunteers and everyone else that pulls it all together behind the scenes.
Yeah, so logistically, have you got a sort of a director of footy that handles all operations?
Yeah, we've got Peter Searle, director of coaching, and then we have coordinators for the respective groups. So we've got a women's coordinator, we've got a thirds coordinator, and then obviously senior men and reserve sort of fall under their own category.
Geez, must be standing room only at St Kevin's functions with that many teams and players.
It is a lot. Yeah, it is a lot. So I think, this year we'll probably have circa 360 players.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of names to remember.
Yes.
And the younger guys all seem to look the same. So I get criticised whenever I mix them up. But there's a lot of faces down there.
They're hard to talk to. They all look at the ground when you go.
You don't get much out of them. No, you don't get much out of them.
Obviously, the final scoreline last week was not what St Kevin's were hoping for. But one thing that we noted at the ground was the number of people in attendance. So there were people laced around the boundary line the whole way around the ground. Some of them got a little too close to the action at times.
We've addressed that.
How great is it that for not even a final, for round one to start the season, that you get such a turn? I must say a fair bit about the community you're building.
Look, I was really proud last week of, one, it was such a big crowd. Obviously, St Kevin's and Xavier are rivals, but there's also a lot of respect and a lot of friendship there between the clubs, and there's a lot of cross-pollination, and you know, the crowd was really well behaved. It's what VAFA footy should be, just strong contests on the field, good crowd support off the field, but nothing untoward. So it was it was a big day. It was a very long day. I was pretty cooked on Sunday, but it was a good way to start the year, albeit not on the scoreboard.
No, I don't think you were the only one. I think we were all a bit. I think we were all a bit exhausted after the first game of the year, Hugo. I don't know about you. I was.
I'm always tired, Matty, when you get to my age. The coffee every now and then perks me up. But Paddy, the next month of footy for St Kevin's, you've got a big month coming up.
Yeah, I knew. Look, when you get the fixture and you see Zavs round 1 and Brighton round 2, you know you've got your work cut out. But you know, there are no easy games at this level. St Bernard's next week is always a challenge. We play for a very important Memorial Cup, the Justin O'Connor Trophy, who was a guy who gave great service to both clubs, who sadly passed away at a young age. And they'll come ready to go. I know Bernard's obviously had a tough loss last week, but they're always strong contests. And then I think we've got Uni Blues the week after. So there's never any easy games at this level.
And then Caulfield, then Scotch.
And then Caulfield and Scotch, yeah.
So no, it's and then Blacks. And then Halebury after that. So no, there is literally, and that's the beauty of the competition too. You've been around it a long time. It's there's no easy rides in this competition.
We'll let you go, but Paddy, thank you for your time. Always great. Well, best of luck for the second half.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Paddy Mann, the president of St Kevin's Old Boys, at the halftime show, thanks to Bell Property. And it is Old Brighton who have a 33-point advantage at the main break. We will go through the halftime show. The catering, as you mentioned, Hugo, has been absolutely outstanding here. It always is at Brighton Beach Oval. Let's go through some of the categories so far. The goal of the day for Hodges Real Estate has been a couple of good goals, not necessarily goal of the year candidates, but just given the conditions, it's been some beauty so far.
Yeah, so far I've really liked Luke McNabb's that was right underneath our nose, matey. Just running towards the boundary line, left foot snap in tough conditions. That was a ripper so far, but half a footy to go. I'm sure we'll see some more.
Proud sponsor of Old Brighton for over 30 years. If you are buying and selling in the area, speak to Hodges director and Tunner's past player Angus Graham. He's the man to go to for Hodges Real Estate. The mark of the day for 40 winks.
I had Harry Hill, and now I'm not really great with notes, but I wrote this one down because I thought it was an absolute ripper in congestion. In the first quarter at the 29 and 31 second minute mark. How's that? Time stamped.
To the second.
Time stamped.
We've got that one, Brucey. We'll be able to go through that in the logger afterwards. We'll go around the grounds as well for the Glenferrie Hotel, owned by great SKOB supporter and sponsor Mark O'Reilly. It offers quality food and beverage choices as well as accommodation options at 324 Burwood Road, Hawthorn. glenferriehotel.com.au. What have you got for us, Hugo?
Okay, so over at the Snake Pit, we have St Bernard's on 3-5-23, trailing Old Scotch 5-4-34. And at our favourite oval, Matty, Uni Main, the battle of the universities, we've got Blacks 5-3-23. Just in front of Blues, 3-4-22. So a 1-point ball game at halftime there, Matty.
Nice.
And the one we've really got to watch closely today at Toorak Park. Zavs, 2-2-14, trailing the Tees, 5-6-36. So that's what's that? That's 11 scoring shots to 4 at the moment. There's just something going on there.
That is absolutely one. All eyes will be on throughout the course of the second half. The Premier B action, De La Salle lead Old Camberwell 55-21. Collegians leading CYs at the moment 7-9-51 to 2-6-18. Beau Morris over Old Geelong at the moment 7-9-51 to 4-2-26. Old Melburnians 8-5-53. Old Ivanhoe, last year's minor premiers, 2-3-15. They lost to Ajax opening game of the season, which was a turn for the books. And now there's 6 goals down to the hands of Old Melburnians. And then Ajax against Old Carey. Old Carey leading that one at the moment, 9-12-66 to Ajax 6-3-39. As we welcome back Cal Cummins, who's gone and got his tea and scones at half-time. He's well known around here, so he can pretty much go wherever he likes around Brighton Beach Oval, and he's a welcome with open arms. Cal, what have you got for us?
Well, certainly the one piece of news that I was after was the little update on Tom Fisher, and unfortunately it's not good. It's confirmed to be the knee for Tom Fisher, and the early prognosis is, or the unofficial diagnosis I should say, is not good.
Right.
So make of that what you will.
Yeah.
It's certainly not looking very promising at all.
You mentioned, Hugo, that there was no one really near him when that happened. So that's not normally a good sign.
Yeah, you're right. If it happens on your own terms, that's never a good sign. We saw Sam Darcy the other week in the AFL. It sort of starts to picture that.
And it can just be one of those innocuous movements as well. I mean, it can't be anything to do with the ground because it's a bowling green out there, but it can just be a sideways movement. And he might have had a slight niggle or something in there, and unfortunately we hope for the best for him, but not looking good.
Well, they've had a crooked run, Old Brighton, with ACLs. Max Benier in the 2024 Premiership sort of run that they had fell just short. He went down with an ACL. Sam Flockhart last year in the Big V game, he went down with his ACL, and well, we sure hope it's not an ACL, but unfortunately it's one of the first things that come to mind when you think of sort of an innocuous knee injury.
Yep. Well, they've probably got a surgeon on standby around here anyway.
Yep.
There'll be a few living in close proximity.
Probably.
11-6-72, Old Brighton St Kevin, 6-3-39. That was a half-time show, thanks to Bell Property, under the directorship of Steve Burke. Highly experienced team bringing exemplary service to all property dealings. A tailored approach featuring top-class strategy and negotiations. We try to figure out what to do with the cakes. I might have one of those at 3
I'm going to pinch one.
Bruce, if you wouldn't mind just safeguarding those for us, thanks. So you mentioned, Hugo, 3/4 time St Kevin's will be kicking with the breeze, and they probably want to be at most 3 goals behind.
No more.
What are they got to do this quarter to get to that point?
Putting a lot of pressure on Old Brighton when they've got the ball and cause turnovers. At the moment, Old Brighton has just been able to use it too easy. Need to limit their scoring, and then they need to maintain possession, get some forward half footy, and hit the scoreboard as well, Matty.
Well, they were able to do it towards the back half of that. What are we going on? What's going on
Just
here?
noticing that they've got
7 on the field.
No, 7 back at the moment, going with a 5-man forward line, St Kevin's. So they put an extra behind the ball already.
It looks like
not even that. They've only got 4 in the forward line for St Kevin's.
Well,
they've got 5. So
Anthony Lynch has gone on the field to. I thought he was going to play loose man behind the ball.
He'd be good.
He's got on the field to make his feelings known. He's making his way off the ground now.
Yeah.
And Old Brighton moved away from their huddle. So we're not too far away from the start of the 3rd term. TLC Healthcare think differently about aged care. Old Brighton's principal partner. 33-point lead to the Tunners at the moment. They're looking for 20 in a row at the venue. You'd think it'd be history in the making. Hugo?
Now, with St Kevin's having 7 behind the ball, that player that's behind the ball, he's got to be the most dangerous player on the ground. He can't just be a defensive, he has to be offensive as well.
And they've gone with Jacob Kajitsky as that spare in defence, so he's not quite had the day he was after as the key forward. That's sort of gone the way of Sammy Tucker. Yeah. So Kajitsky's gone loose behind the ball for St Kevin's, trying to move the Magnets. They trail by 33. We're underway in the second half at the Brighton Beach Oval. Carr won the hit out straight to Hill. Couldn't quite get the clearance though. Lovely slick hands from St Kevin's. The ball spills to the outside of the wing. Now we're at half forward. Tucker tried to meet on the bounce, couldn't. There's Brian, and the umpire has actually gone down.
We just noticed Marcel Bruin has gone and manned up the spare behind the ball for St Kevin's, so we're playing equal players on the field. And you might have to call a bit here, Cal, because Matty is hoeing into a bit of lunch at the moment.
Looks like a pretty good scone as well.
It does, looks very nice.
Umpire gets to his feet, tosses the ball back up. Nil-all draw between Coates and Carr. Hodges and Hill. That was a nil-all draw as well. Closely watching it, Burnell, McNabb, Carr. The Tunners work it out courtesy of the back of the stoppage, and then hoist a high kick up towards the wing. Ag couldn't quite take the mark. Seager tackled by Dylan Mitru. Hill goes in, dives on top of it again. On the wing we are, and umpire crossed his chest and calls for it.
Just like Harry Hill, he's either at the bottom of the pack or he's on the outside release.
He's always around.
He's an amazing player.
Just seems to do everything right, does the Old Brighton captain. 10th season as the captain of the footy club. And here he is on cue. Harry Hill with one mid, just pouched it. Sends it up towards half forward. Goodger was the target. Pryor, lovely little crumb, turns and kicks it up towards half forward. Asked a few questions of St Kevin's defence. Karianis, slick. Michael Karianis. The little maestro doing what he does best.
Well, that's a contender for goal of the day too, that one. That was an amazing effort there by Karianis, and you can see why he's so dangerous in that forward half for Old Brighton. So they've started the way they started the first quarter, hitting the scoreboard early and making the job a little bit harder for St Kevin's.
It's now 9-1 when Brighton are kicking down to the right of your screen on KTV, right of your radio dials. This is sort of what we expected from Brighton when they had the breeze. They just do everything right.
Yeah, they certainly do. They never panic, and they don't care who kicks the goals. As we said before, they have an amazing spread of goal kickers. So it's looking a bit ominous for St Kevin already.
And it's exactly six. They've exactly doubled their score. Twice as many goals, twice as many behinds. 12-6 to 6-3. Back in the middle once more. Walsh taking a turn in the centre. Hands it over to Coates. He couldn't gather it cleanly. It's come out now to Matheson. He's bumped off it by Seeger. Tries to get a little kick forward. Does so. Karianis for 2 in a minute. Not quite. Not even really close, to be honest. It's gone out on the full. Well out in the full. And the moment passes, St Kevin's will bring it back into play.
Really dominated the centre square today, Old Brighton. Every time they've got a clear clearance, it's straight into the forward line for an entry.
So Hart. Oh, not a good kick. Straight to Goodger, who couldn't take the mark. It was good pressure. Comes out now to Ag in the unlucky 50. Over to Burnell, or so I've been told. Goes towards the teeth of goal. There's Kaczynski by the ball. Oh, it's been socked through by Flockhart. Goal. How did he manage to get boot to ball there? That was unbelievable. Kaczynski looked like he had it all sewn up, and then Flockhart swooped in and socketed it through. That's an incredible goal. Goal of the day contender, just for how unbelievable it was.
Absolutely.
13-6-84 Old Brighton, 6-3-39 St Kevin's. Hugo, can you figure out for me how that happened?
No, and the St Kevin's defenders are still trying to figure that out as well. They just stood there and looked at each other and said, how the hell did that happen?
Well, Bruce, you got delay build up?
It was, yeah, sorry, but that's what it was. So they all looked at each other and no one actually went for the ball, and it just popped up nicely in front of Felix Flockhart, and that was a great shot on goal.
Carr and Coates in the middle once again, and he spills out towards the side. Walsh got hands on the footy and he was taken high. Burnell giving away the free kick. Noah Walsh told to go back over his line. He missed footy last year, did Noah Walsh. A premiership play with Sandhurst in the Bendigo Footy Netball League. A little fist over the top, it's going to come back in towards the centre square. Hodges, lovely little slow turn that worked out all right. Karianis, slick. Montanaro up towards Seeger. Harry Hill's on the outside. Further on his left side, McNabb. The two left footers, McNabb to Campbell. Along the far side of the Brighton Beach Oval we go. A long ball going across. Flockhart, 1-2, got it. He's just imposing himself in this game, Felix Flockhart.
Oh, he's cleaned up his man too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was a knee to the ribs. It might be Hart who's still down for the Scobbers. It is.
I think we saw his knee pop through the front of his chest there. That was.
He got a full brute of Felix Flockhart. They met the contest at identical times.
He cops it all the time, Felix Flockhart as well, but he loves to get a square up every now and then. He really enjoys it.
Last year's Team of the Year ruckman was Felix Flockhart. Formerly on the Port Melbourne VFL list, played 17 games for the Borough in 2024. He'll strike from 45 metres, 45-degree angle. It's across the face of goal. And it's gone out of bounds on the full. It's actually touched to the behind post. So St Kevin's will breathe a sigh of relief momentarily as they regain possession.
I think we're getting a good idea on where that breeze is going exactly. Drifting into that right forward pocket. Last two kicks gone there. Anderson brings it back into play, and here's Bank. Good mark on the half-back flank. A long way from home, though. Kicks St Kevin's first goal of the day earlier. Wants to sidestep his man, indulge in a bounce. Now he's in trouble. Somehow squeezed a hand pass away to Jones. Walsh back to Jones. Loops one over the top. Clever little tap down there by Matheson. He's got to gather it now. Feeds a hand pass forward. Punch forward by Coates. It all very messy from St Kevin's. Although they keep working it forward. They've done this quite nicely in the end. And then a good tackle's been applied. It's come out. Duke was in there. Oh, and then Carr's gone to ground. Gets it away. Here's McNabb on the left boot to a 1-on-2 on the wing. And St Kevin's able to kill the contest. Kaczynski behind the ball, taking no chances. Thumped it over the boundary line for a throw in centre wing.
Just there with that run of play there, it was just congestion to congestion. There was no release from congestion, so they made it hard for themselves, St Kevin's, and the turnover was just inevitable.
The boundary umpire tosses it back in. Shallow throw in. Duke to ground. Whistle, free kick, and in danger, I think it might be. So it's going to go to.
No one knows.
Who is it going to go to?
The players have no idea.
It's going to go to Duke, who was trying to figure out who to throw it to, and in the end, it was always his. He plays on straight away. That's a good kick as well. Now it's just got a sit here for McKenna, but he's run down by Carianis. Took too long. And that about sums up the game to this point.
And lets him know too, just Carroll.
Absolutely.
Michael Carianis having a fine third quarter. And that kick epitomises that. Nice ball that found Seeger on the wing. Nice 30-metre pass that found Pryor. Just offensive side for the far side wing. Pryor drives it long. Flockhart was going to fly over the top of them. Didn't get any piece of it. It goes over and out, ball in, about 25 out from the Tunners' goal.
Just went a bit off script there, Michael, Pryor from the Brighton.
He's been good by foot.
Yeah,
he's been good.
But they generally, Brighton have lowered their eyes in that situation rather than that long bomb forward. But Felix Flockhart does have the hot hand a bit at the moment, the marking department, so try for him.
84 plays 39. The Tunners in complete control of this game. Neither ruck got a hand to it. Maybe a high free kick goes unanswered. Seeger was emerging with the football, and it's a clearing kick out of there. Carr's underneath it and takes the mark from the heart of the Brighton Beach Oval. He sends it straight back in, goes across the half forward. Ag positioned himself and took a nice mark. That is strong hands from Ryan Ag.
Jesus, very officious, that umpire.
He's telling Ag to come back over his
75
mark.
metres from goal, but he's telling him to get around a little bit.
Well, he knows this ground better than most, Ryan Ag. Played his juniors here as a kid. And I say that because I played alongside him here. For the Brighton Beach Kangaroos, this margin could be out beyond 50 points in a flash.
Nice little name drop there, Cal.
That's third person.
Yeah.
Ryan Ag, he'll kick this from well outside the arc. This will take a mighty effort. The breeze behind him, it's trying to work back. Distance not a problem, but unfortunately the accuracy is. It's across the face. 13-7, 85. 6-3, 39.
46 points the lead now for the Tunners. Kick comes into Hart. Travers on the mark. Thinking about the hand pass.
It's the positions that's troubled them today, St Kevin's, releasing from here.
It's going to go across the field to Kaczynski, who's had a very quiet day. Kick up towards Billy Bryan, who beat a couple. Got a goal on the second term, Billy Bryan. Things have been held up, though, for St Kevin's, of helping them on to move it quickly. Bryan goes up towards half forward, comes off hands. Is Cork, Tweedy, and kicking outside of the boot. That was Hill. And then towards the wing, Atherson applying a strong tackle, locks things up. We'll get a stoppage here on the wing. Just attacking half for St Kevin's. But the sunshine is breaking through once again. It was ever present in the first half. It's been a little overcast at times since the main break. Hamish Dick gets a kick away under pressure from Richards, and it will be a lasso free kick. And McKenna to take it. Hugo, your thoughts on the lasso rule? Where do you stand on it?
I don't mind it, Matty. It keeps the game flowing a little bit, but it's I know it's very taxing for the ruckman trying to get back behind the ball pretty quickly.
McNabb, the hand pass backwards wasn't great. He's going to go and get it now on the left boot. Goes the high kick up towards the wing. Oh, and that was a punch that should have been easily claimed. And in the end, I think that might have been McKenna, who just puts his hand up apologetically as well.
That's two things there. That's one, confidence in yourself, and number two, is communication from other players. You've got to tell the player he's clear and you take that mark.
Carr just had a bit of Coates by the jumper. It'll be a free kick to Big Billy Coates. Part of the Big V game in 2024. 13 games for the Tigers at VFL level for Coates. He goes long and high. Tucker is the target. He's sandwiched between about 3 or 4, but he's going to win a free kick, Sam Tucker. Cork just had a bit of his jumper.
That's the 340.
Just making way past to our right-hand side.
Running 17 minutes late, no doubt.
Probably.
Yeah, it's
quite a good day.
Free public transport. And there's still ticket inspectors on there. I want that job.
He was thrown in defence last year, Sammy Tucker, but he's been repositioned as a forward where he's known for doing his best work. He's on the runway, about 35-40 out from goal. Umpire does a little dance, but it's gone through. So a rare goal into the breeze for St Kevin's. Tucker has kicked his third for the afternoon. He's got 3 straight. And St Kevin's, they still trail by 40 points. 13-7-85, plays 7-3-45.
Yeah, we've seen the margin just still floating around this sort of margin, getting down to low 30s, but they're just holding them at bay now. Brighton and St Kevin's just can't get a run on of goals.
They were 41 points down at about this point in that game a couple of years ago as well, Cal. And so they chalked off 40 of them, got it back to a point. Same ends as well, so kicking with the breeze. We've seen this situation before with these two teams. And Hugo, I might mention that's 1 in a row for St Kevin's now.
Yes, 1 in a row.
Tossed up. Both rucks got taps to it. Here's McNabb, who bursts away. Kicks it in towards full forward. Hard playing in front. Got away from Flockhart. Got the hand pass out, although it's come loose. And that's a good tackle that's been applied there. Here's Carianis again. Gets away from his man. Gets a hand pass away. Ag looks to go backwards to Pryor. He goes a long way backwards, in fact.
25 odd metres gone back.
But Pryor marks it 70 out from goal. He still might just be a bit too far out, so he looks to clip it in towards the pocket. That's no good. It was always going to advantage Kazitsky there, who wastes no time. Very dangerous switch, but it might work, though. They've got a bit of space here, and it's Du's taking a bit of a tumble into the crowd there for St Kevin's. That might be Billy Bryan, but it's not a lasso free kick, or in fact, it's Greenham. Green, eggs and ham, I like to call it. Boundary throw in. 40 points the lead for the Tunnels. Carr grabs it out of the ruck, gets a hand pass away to Burnell, who looks to sidestep his man, does so, gets a kick inside 50, and diving and taking the mark is Carianis, just inside attacking 50, and this distance, well, truly within range for him from here.
Very athletic young player, Josh Carr, just to be able to put the afterburners on, and well, there's been something happened here.
Yeah, he passed it off.
Oh, there you go.
Camp Peely.
I was just checking the car, see if there's a ticket over there. I parked in the 2 hours.
You don't have to worry about a footy hitting at that end of the ground. No. So the kick has gone short to Finn Campelli. He is going to be kicking for 55 metres out, virtually directly in front.
I actually looked away because I thought there's no way in the world that Carianis is going to pass that off.
Very unlike Carianis.
Put him within 70 metres of the goals.
You're thinking of Richardson. Here's Campelli on the left boot, just outside attacking 50. Looks good in flight. And it's gone across the face. See, the goal umpire took a long time to move there.
Didn't move at all.
I was going off his cue and he didn't move a muscle.
Every game that I'm at, the umpires do this because they've got it in for me. Because surely you'd think that umpire didn't move. That's got to be a goal.
Yeah,
and then it goes straight through the points.
They are the best at foxing us. 13-8, 7-3.
The world's out to get me, Matty.
Nearly 14 gone, third term. You're not the only one, Hugo.
Yeah, feels like that sometimes.
St Kevin's just sort of chipping around their defensive zone at the minute. And Drewski's got it in the back pocket. There's just nothing appealing. It's only traffic coming really ahead of him.
Very flat-footed.
And they're going to go back across the face of goal for the 3rd time in a row here, St Kevin's. Just nothing. Pfeiffer did be able to break the tackle here. Feeds it on towards Walsh. Kicks it along the line. Tucker was the target. Cork did well just to muscle him underneath the football. Hill goes barrelling in. And the umpire's going to cross his chest. Right in neutral territory, centre wing, far side of the ground.
It does feel like, unlike the first time, they actually are trying to change the angles a bit here.
Yeah, they are, but then they're coming back to where they came from as well. When you change shape, you've got to move and then move at pace as well. Because you're coming to the other side to get some open ground. If you let them all come over, then guess what? You don't have open ground anymore. And they're very flat-footed.
Just not fast enough is what I'm noticing. It's like the switch is good and all, but it's got to be with a bit more intent and a bit more dare. As Burnell just palmed it over his head, well in there by Duke, just to break away from the tackle. Harry Hill underneath it all, trying to find Fanning by hand, couldn't quite do so. Burnell just went and got the football. He sends it up towards the wing. Front position there from Howden was good enough. He actually handled it himself in the end. Coates feeds it back. Walsh dispossesses, he got hand to it. Now a chance here for McKenna. He drives it inside the attacking 50. And it's going to be coming back. Tweedy mops things up for the Tunnels. They go quickly out towards the wing. Travers play with his mouth guard out of its socket. That was nice there on towards Hill, who takes a running bounce from the wing, sends it long. Carianis the target, got goal side Carianis. He pushed him out the way. And the crowd, they are furious.
Yeah, but it was there. It was absolutely. You see that.
The noise of affirmation not quite getting it job done for the Tunners.
No. Once again, we're in this troublesome position for SKOB. Let's see if they can work their way out of here.
Well, having to switch it again to Hart. The big fella indulges in a bounce. That'd be a rarity. And a short little kick. Hodges on the bounce. Oh, and another ugly kick coming out of the back line, and that's going to be a lasso.
Free kick going the way of the Tunners. Luca McNabb to take it. Oh, that's not a very good kick either. It's just all got a bit untidy from both sides in the last few minutes. Kazitsky, Hodges, don't know how he got a hand pass away there. And now, Brilly Bryan, Duke, Marnie. This is good from St Kevin's. They'll get a look inside 50 here. Lovely vision. Oh, just missed Greenham. He's got to go and get it now. He's got a couple of Tunners defenders to contend with. And they take it to the line. Good tackle by Ford. And he gets a rousing reception from the Tunners faithful, which are right in front of all of that. And it'll be a boundary throw in on the left half forward flank here for St Kevin's.
Just needed to execute that little lateral kick to half forward, but he had clear space in front of him on that far side and just should have looked at goals or taken a bounce.
Coates, front spot. Richards looked to flick it back to Hodges. He's come out now here the way of the Tunners. Walsh has he got McNabb. Normos. It's got it away to Flockhart, who goes back to Burnell, who goes with a long kick down the wing to a one-on-one. A good spoiler play there by Jones, and he's going to go and get it as well. Dillamitru wanted to look backwards, instead chose to go forwards. Dandruski was caught, and then Burnell happy to see it over the line and gets a little bit of a shove from Andruski, who gets a little bit more from the debutant Hill. He's wasting no time inserting himself into the action. Is young George Hill, Greg Hill.
Well, the 19's faithful beneath us. They're starting to find their voice. They're on cue next. If you're staying with us on KTV, Holmesland on 19's Premier Action coming up. Sorry, McNabb just slapped him on the chest. You could hear it through the effects mic. McNabb goes in and gets it. Greenham lays into him. It was almost a bear hug, just riding his back.
Rubbed the legs around him too.
He did.
Loud slap into the chest of that Tunners player.
McNabb probably got a whole lot of Sharon just stapled across his chest. Coates and Flockhart, no one got a piece of it. And we get that lasso free kick, Brighton's ball.
They were onto that.
Just off the toes there. I think it was off of Richards. And that'll be Harry Hill.
I think that's the one, Hugo, they don't like, because that's, I mean, it's a touch rather than a disposal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Harry Hill, right beneath us, drives it towards the wing. Ag from the front, got one hand to it, not enough for the mark. Seager and Campili trying to sort out between themselves. Hamble goes back to Seager. He was tackled out the line, and the umpire saw it that way as well. Seager free kick, about a metre inside the boundary line, right in front of the Brighton interchange gates. They lead things by 41 points, 18 gone in this third term for TLC Healthcare. Seager up towards half forward. Early fly in from Richardson, had 3 to beat, did well enough to at least force a 50-50. Burnell stole it, closely watched there by Parola. Burnell, nice tackle to force a stoppage, 40 out from the Tunners goal.
Great contest by Richardson then, that was a 1-on-3, so he did really well to bring it to ground. Keep the ball in front half.
Feels weird to say, but it feels like there's a bit of a bounty on the next goal all of a sudden. Flockhart taps it back to Burnell.
You're right, Matty, that is a weird thing to say.
Dick with the hand pass to Goodger, who goes to the outside of the boot, across the face of goal, through, actually not through for a minor score, it's gone out on the full.
No, it's got boundary throw in.
Oh, boundary throw in.
Apologies.
The goal umpire was signalling. Well, it feels like if Old Brighton get a goal now, in time on the third term, they can get 2 or 3 or 4 really quickly.
Yeah.
But if St Kevin's get it, they just chip away at the deficit a little bit more. Old Brighton go a little longer without getting a goal, and St Kevin's have the breeze in the last term.
Well, this will be the period now where St Kevin's really start to feel the fact they've only got 2 on the bench. Of course, they're missing Marnie and Jock for the best part of the day.
But Old Brighton also
without Fisher.
1. Yeah.
So it's 2 on the bench against 3 on the bench.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a real endurance test for a lot of these players out there.
We know that Old Brighton play a taxing game plan as well. Just feels like the game can be. It could be over in the next 10 minutes, or there could be a little bit of a spark yet for St Kevin's. This time on period will prove pretty crucial. Tucker. Richards applying the tackle there on Dick. Seager was there. Goodger as well. It's just gone over the boundary line. No disposal. A throw in here at right half forward again for the Tunners.
Yeah, Brighton will be enjoying this, just holding the ball up in their forward half, taking the pace out of the game. And St Kevin's, the players will be looking up the scoreboard as well. Just get that barrier of we're still around that 40-point mark coming into the last quarter.
Tossed in. Dick's got it from 50. Screws a kick towards full forward. Karianis in front. No mark taken. Richardson, well, he went for the kick backwards. He does not want a hand pass at that man. Pryor goes in towards full forward. That's not a good kick. Matheson marks. Well, if ever he needed proof that he's related to KB, that's it right there.
It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen.
The hands are there for their good looks.
Yes.
Kajitsky then, and St Kevin's try to find something. It's actually a really nice kick out towards the wing.
Yeah.
Pin perfect. They found Noah Walsh. And he goes aggressively into the corridor. McNabb probably had palm forward towards Lowen, who goes back. George Hill, loose behind the ball. He goes short to Ag, and they slow things up. Ryan Ag, defensive side of the wing. Lowen offers a lead behind him, but he's only looking forward. He drives it long down the wing. Even numbers. Flockhart is going to fly. Kajitsky was almost uncontested in the end. Charging through, Ollie Goodger. He goes out towards the pocket. Chance here for Old Brighton. Travers got goal side. Kept it in front of him. Travers handballs it inside. Richardson. That is pure class from the Tunners. 47 points the margin goes to now. 14-8-92. Plays 7-3-45.
Amazing piece of roving work there by Goodger, and then just the surge football, and surprise, surprise, Richardson on the end of that. But imagine how his grandfather would have kicked like that. Just in the chain, did absolutely nothing to get the ball there, just finish it off.
That's 3 now for Charlie Richardson. He's having a fine game, first senior game for the year.
Still waiting for that hand pass.
Might be waiting a while.
I was waiting for it a couple of minutes ago. I thought, no, he'll find a way to kick this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now 47-point lead. Is that game? No, that wouldn't be game high.
No, not quite yet. No, 49, the current game high.
Too far away. That might break the St Kevin's back here. And Old Brighton will go forward again. Hamish Dick, that breeze is going to come back. Oh, it was well judged in the end by Jones, because that was swing back with venom.
Thought it had a chance.
Yeah. Well, if it cleared that back, that's why the mark to Jones is very important in the defensive goal square. Cards spending a bit of time up forward with a rest, and that is wide, and that's gone out of bounds on the full. So that last goal, yeah, it does feel like the wheels are just coming off a bit now for St Kevin's. Hamish Dick. Tough angle, but the way he's been kicking today, wouldn't put it beyond him.
Well, it's a tough kick, this, because the breeze is basically pushing this across the face of goal entirely. So he's almost got to aim this almost at the left behind post of where he is.
Well, he hasn't missed this season, Hamish Dick, so this will be a good test of the work he's put into the summer. Well, he has kicked it wide. It's always going to be the long odds from there, even for the sharpest shooter. The minus score 14-9-93. Old Brighton St Kevin 7-3-45.
Complete control. Sorry, Hugo.
No, I was just going to say, it probably highlights St Kevin's day. Kick it out of bounds on the full in that situation, just to give possession to the opposition again.
Can be brought in, and almost a turnover once again. It was a good ball at the end from Matheson, and quickly through the middle we go. Richardson, or Richards rather. 1-2 was good. Richards, a nice pass on that occasion that found Tucker. He's at true centre wing, but Brighton have done well enough to just find their way back. St Kevin's just not going quick enough forward of the ball. Tommy Parola, who will reel around on the right boot, sends it long and high. Big fly, good mark, Bank. Well, here's a late inclusion. He was our mystery number 14 earlier in the day, Jack Bank. But this is turning into a really nice afternoon for the former Tiger. He's already got one today.
He judged that beautifully coming into there, but that lateral kick to the centre of the ground to Tommy Parola, that was excellent to get that ball changing the shape, changing the angles. Hasn't been enough of that today.
Tough kick this into the breeze for Jack Bank. It's only about 25, 30 metres. No real angle to speak with. But the breeze is going to ask a lot of questions. A young gun of the VAFA, Jack Bank. It's a lovely looking set shot, no problems there. He's got 2 for the afternoon. St Kevin's, they move to 8-3-51. Old Brighton still 42 points to the good. 14-9-93 is where 25 minutes gone in the third term for TLC Healthcare.
Very good to get that one back there for St Kevin's, and the build-up was the best part of that. This centre clearance, like we said before, Matty, we want to try and break this 40-41 margin. Don't we want to get into the low 30s for St Kevin's, just to give them that little bit of momentum going into the fourth quarter.
It's not like 10 points at a time, so you can get it down to 30, then get it down to 20 and see where you're at. There's just 3-2 this term in favour of the Tunners. So it's not been a bad quarter from St Kevin's, especially with the breeze.
43 at quarter time, 33 at half time, and it's 42 now.
Yeah.
It's just that first term that looks to have done all the damage. Burnell caught by Duke, just get a hand pass forward. Here's Hamish Dickey's away, gets a hand pass forward a bit more. There's a whistle, free kick, a throw. Spotted Cal, free kick to Matheson of St Kevin's, and they'll look to move it quickly. Kick, or Pryor got in the way there, picked up by Greenham. Hand pass looking for Walsh, who lost sight of it, but it lands fortuitously for him. Goes with a kick down the line, Lohan in best position against Will Mazzio. He takes an easy intercept mark on the back flank. Looks to go with a kick in board, a beauty as well, in all sorts of spaces. Luca McNabb. brought his own Sherrod last week, McNabb. And speaking of space, plenty here for Campili on the wing. It's where the ball spent the majority of the day. It's amazing anyone can find space here. Campili goes with a kick up the line and another tonner in space. There's all slow ball movement. That's 3 blokes in a row who've been in space. Ag this time, can he find a teammate inside 50? It's a good kick, it's come off hands. Goodger was there. Was brought to ground and Kerry Arnott applying the tackle to lock things up. Ball up 35 metres out from Old Brighton's goal.
It was just nice and easy for Marcel's men on that occasion. Dick throwing it ruck this time around. Off hands, Hodges tried to feed it off by hand. Goodger laid into the second, got hands on it there by Coates. Then Harry Hill does the tackling on Hodges. It comes loose. Dick from 45. That's through. That's through. Margin back out to 8 goals just like that. Hamish Dick has had a very, very nice game today. That's his third, joining Charlie Richardson with 3 as well. It's just been a nice afternoon for Old Brighton. All the players really are contributing pretty equally.
Absolutely, across the board. Hamish Dick should not have been unattended there on the defensive side of the St Kevin stoppage. Well, there's got to be a lack of communication or something there. We've seen this too many times. Hamish Dick had all the time in the world to turn around and just slot that through. That's rule 101.
Yep. It's one thing coaches hate, isn't it, Hugo? Conceding goals from defensive 50 stoppage.
Oh, especially when they exit the front of the stoppage as well.
If Anthony Lynch was spitting chips at quarter time. Hodges with the tackle on Burnell has locked things up. It's now a 48-point lead and just refuses to waver from this 40-odd point margin as it's done since quarter time. 8 goals to 1 in the opening term for the Tunners. Set the stage. Hodges gets hand pass away. Neat little chip up the line. It's pretty good in the end. Well weighted. St Kevin's can go inside 50, kick into the pocket, and it's come off hands. And it's gone out of play. Mazzio, well, he's got under the skin of a couple, it seems. And there's a little bit of a, how's your father in all of that? A boundary throw in at the end of it all. Tossed in, Carr front spot, punched it away, out towards the back flank. How does the umpire adjudicate this? Just a throw in. Despite the appeals from Xavier Duke, Harry Hill was sort of near there.
Isn't that a rule, though? The ruckman punches it out of bounds. And
I think if it goes clear on the full.
On the full.
That's definitely an out on the full, but I'm sure you can. I'm sure you're onto something there, Hugo, as well. We'll have another go here at half forward. That time it was Tucker down to Dillamitru. Sidesteps a man, gets the hand pass away. Greenham. Well, he just gives a hand pass.
That was a nothing handball.
I don't know what to do here, so I'll just give it to you, Sam Tucker. You can get tackled.
It's basically making it someone else's problem.
Yeah.
And there's just been a lot of that today. Just, I want it away from me. Here, you have the trouble.
So it's actually a ball up as opposed to a boundary throw. It'll be Carr and Coates sitting at half forward, right beneath us here, forcing Kevin to like a jumper tuck. No queens. Josh Carr was caught behind. He got a little cheap one there from Billy Coates. Josh Carr's gone down holding his haunches. He's going to have to get up as Coates drives it towards full forward. Benk was caught behind and he was doing a lot of holding. Gus Cork just held the drop zone of the ball really well there. As Carr and Coates have just seen a little pat to each other's chest, letting you know that that's a part of footy. He's going to come right on their heads. Ag! Not quite, man in front. There's a whistle. Well, no, mark's been paid.
Had his own umpire paid the mark.
Yeah. Dillamitru took off really nice mark. He goes really high. Asked a lot of the forwards. Pack for about 30 came flying in. Cork, that was good. Hodges lays the tackle. Clearing kick goes out. It's going to be coming straight back. Dillamitru from the centre wing. He goes long and high. Bank the target. Cork muscled him out illegally. Jack Bank was pushed. And he'll strike from about 20 out right on the three-quarter time siren. This to reduce the margin, if he kicks truly, back to 42.
Very important kick.
Yep.
Well, if there's any pulse for St Kevin's, this just must go through for Jack Bank.
He feels like the man. If
Yes.
St Kevin's are any hope, he feels like he's the man.
He's been a live wire in the offensive half. Jack Bank, he's walked probably about 30-odd metres back from the man on the mark. You can hear the crowd trying to throw him off. Jack Bank, he's on the runway. He strikes from 25 and he's straight at left. It's only just gone through for a behind. So the scoreboard will then read 15-9 rather. 15-9, 99 are the Tunners. St Kevin's 8-4-52. The margin is 47 points as we turn for home here at the Brighton Beach Oval.
That third term brought to you by TLC Healthcare, Old Brighton's principal partner, special Cummins Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ. Your thoughts on that third term?
Yeah, it's just Old Brighton have the answers for everything. So it's been a really tough day for St Kevin's. They haven't been able to execute from the back half of the ground. Too many turnovers, and Old Brighton just dominating all facets of the game, unfortunately. Look, Jack Benk's been exciting up forward for St Kevin's, and they've had their chances and opportunities, but Old Brighton always seem to be able to just quash any sort of comeback or chain that St Kevin's have. They've been able to string more than 2 goals together at once, and Old Brighton have always been able to answer. Yep. So it's a tough ask for the last quarter. I'll be really curious to see St Kevin stand up here.
4 goals 3 to 2 goals 1 in that term, and Old Brighton go from a 33-point half-time advantage to lead by 47 points at the final break. This is the VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Match of the Day. It's Old Brighton who held the Aces at 3-quarter time. Stay tuned, the final quarter coming up right after this.
VAFA action is back, and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45 p.m.
Are you thinking about pulling on the boots and having a kick in 2026? If so, we'd love to have you in the VAFA. Australia's largest senior footy competition has teams suited to all ages and experience, from under-19s to seniors. Log on to vafa.com.au, check out our club directory and find a club near you.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for 1 male and 1 female player aged 20 years or under who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the VAFA Rising Stars for 2026. So if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Stay up to date with all the latest from the Victorian Amateur Football Association with the brand new VAFA app. Stay connected with live scores, fixtures, stats and news from across the Victorian Amateur Football Association right at your fingertips. Download the VAFA app today from the App Store or Google Play and never miss a moment.
Keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA by subscribing to our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook and LinkedIn. Has someone just taken a screamer or kicked goal of the year? Send us your best and we might share them around the league. Join in the fun with all the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. They're all on VAFA Social and VAFA Women's on your favourite platform.
To the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on SEN's new no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45 p.m. Listen via the app.
3-quarter time here at Brighton Beach Oval. This is the VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Match of the Day here on Community TV and on the SEN app. And it is Old Brighton with a 47-point advantage, 15-9-99 to 8-4-52. The goal scorers to this point, they've been shared around by both sides, I think it is fair to say. Hamish Dick and Charlie Richardson each kicking 3 for the Tunners, 2 each to Burnell and Cariana, singles to Hill, Flockhart, Pryor, McNabb and Travers for St Kevin's. 3 goals to Tucker, 2 to Bank, and then singles to Marnie, Billy Bryan and George Dillamitri. Matthew Donald is my name. I got Hugo Higginbotham with me. Special comments thanks to Hit IQ. Hugo, for St Kevin's in the list last term, how do they end into this 47-point deficit?
Oh, they need to get some centre square dominance, get some clearances and get some deep entries. They really have not had enough entries today. They're probably second to the ball, too many stages, and it's tough. There's a psychological barrier there. Now, don't forget, you can only play as well as the opposition lets you sometimes, and we're seeing the best here. This is why they're the reigning premier, Old Brighton, and they're putting their hand up to say we want to be there at the end of the year.
Yeah, their quest for back-to-back, they've started very impressively in 2026 Old Brighton. The 3-quarter time huddle report for the Brighton Beach Hotel. We'll head down to ground level now. Old Brighton's huddle has just broken away. Cal Cummins is going to have a bit of a chat with Marcel Bruin, the coach of Old Brighton, in just a moment. If I can find Cal, he's down there now, and he's got Marcel with him.
Soupy, pretty hot game it is out there, but a nice little scoreboard reads for you guys. What have you made of it so far?
Yeah, we've worked really hard to put that score up on the board. We would have liked a little bit more composure, as we spoke about at that three-quarter time huddle, particularly when we got the ball back, you know, off turnover or off mark. But that's something that we can look to for this quarter, try and control it a little bit more, force them to defend. They're going to be trying to obviously take the game on a little bit and try and get some quick scores. So we'll see how that pans out. We've just got to get to work in the trenches, get to work at stoppage and in contest particularly.
Heard you mentioning in that three-quarter time address the fact that we've only got 2 on the bench means absolutely nothing to you guys. What are the tactically, what are you guys going to look to do, sort of attacking maybe that side of the game?
Yeah, just work rate. So, I mean, we're not going to try and shut the game down. We're not going to close that down. We still want to obviously get the ball and, as I said, show some composure, try and get some kick mark, because then we can control it and force them to defend a little bit. They're going to get tired towards the back end if obviously those bench rotations, but they'll have a huge amount of impetus with this win, which gives you a pretty significant advantage in terms of just getting that front half football. So we've got to be conscious of that, try and set up our defence really effectively.
Beautiful. Best of luck rest of the game.
Thank you for that, Cal, and to Marcel Bruin, the coach of Old Brighton. Around the grounds for the Glenferrie Hotel, Hugo, you've got some intriguing scores for us.
We do. So we've got the Snow Dogs 6-7-43, just trailing Old Scotch 7-7-49. Sounds like a great game over there. Uni Blacks 5-9-39, trailing Uni Blues 8-5-53. We've got Zads 5-2-32, trailing the Tees 8-8-56, and Caulfield Grammar 5-3-33, trailing Old Haileybury 6-9-45. So some close games around there and some interesting results.
Whole Trinity, eh?
Yes.
Whole Trinity. There you go. We await with bated breath. And we await the start of the final term here. Old Brighton with a 47-point lead. St Kevin's kicking with the breeze. They're going to need to get on their skates very quickly indeed. Coates with an indiscriminate kick forward. Brian applying a strong tackle. Umpire happy to let it play. And he pays the free kick for holding the ball. So Walsh takes the advantage, wasting no time. Goes in towards full forward. Over the head there of Bank. Up towards full forward. Pfeiffer playing the tackle, locks things out. And will be a stoppage at three-quarter time huddle thanks to the Brighton Beach Hotel, the best pub in Bayside, to watch the footy with friends. Thanks to Marcel Bruin for giving us some of his time there. Well, Brighton win the clearance out towards the back flank, but it's gone out of bounds on the full. Jacob Gazitsky's going to take the kick now. I wonder if he's going to back himself from here.
He's certainly in range with his, of course, the AFL background.
He's going to give it a go. He's going to, in fact, set it up towards the top of the goal square, and Flockhart taking no chances, punches it through for the opening score of the final term. 8-5-53 St Kevin's. Old Brighton 15-9-99, and that is on the Domo Insurance scoreboard to start this final quarter.
It's a long way back for St Kevin's, but I'd probably be doing the Scholars a bit of discredit to say they're completely out of this game. A nice kick from fullback, came from McNabbott, found Burnell. He's probably 30 metres away from his own goal. He looks out towards the far side wing. Even numbers around the ball, and Coates, that was just strong. Muscled Flockhart away from the contest. And he's going to play on quickly. Sends a real floater. It's half torp, half floater. It lands short of the contest. Benk was crashing in aggressively. Hill was amongst it there too. Hodges, he was always going to be around the contest. He handles it out towards Dillamitru, who's immediately met by Tweedy. And just before they fall over the boundary line, the umpire calls for a ball up.
I think it takes a fair bit of skill to kick a footy without it deviating in the air at all. That's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, well, he did it well.
Not sure he meant it, but
no, I don't think
we'll give him the half credit. And eventually we're going over and out as Hill tackles Coates right underneath the scoreboard here at the Brighton Beach Oval. 2 minutes gone, 46 points to the leaders, other Tunners.
He's worked hard for St Kevin's today, Billy Coates. He's always around the contest, giving his all.
Started down back in the first half of last week and has rucked pretty much all of today. And he wins the tap down there to Richards. He was dispossessed. Burnell's hand pass was charged down. Seeger. Flockhart down there in the afters. Yeah. Keep an eye on that. Fernell applying the tackle. Here's Mazzio, tucked up in the pocket, snaps towards goal, and he's missed. Still waiting for Mini Mazzio.
Well, there's some afters here. Free kick Brighton at half-back. Flockhart.
Yeah. And is Flockhart still down?
It was Flockhart. He was up. Flockhart and Richards. Yeah, Flockhart and Richards had a bit of a scrap, so Richards is going down.
Essentially a 50-metre penalty.
And then Billy Coates came in and just roofed him to the ground.
That'll do it.
So you're right, mate. Basically a 50-metre penalty from fullback. It'll be a free kick to Felix Flockhart at half-back for the Tunners. He plays on quickly. He goes to McNabb, who actually fumbled the ball in the end, had to go down and pick it up. Mazio applied the tackle. It's an up and under kick. Seager almost took the mark in the end. Umpire wave play on. Handball comes towards the paint. Burnell collects it and runs it over the line.
Hugo, that's another thing they've done really well today. When they've been tackled, they've still found a way to get rid of the ball. They've done that a lot today, the Tunners.
Yeah, they keep their hands free, and if not, they can even get a boot into it as well. So, no, and that's a training thing as well. The more times you train that, you're trying to keep your arms really yourself free.
Coates tried to grab it out the ruck, comes out towards the side, clearing a little handball there from Marnie, going nowhere. Now, interesting point, gents, the scoreboard hasn't actually registered that behind. Was the free kick before the free kick?
Yeah, it was before.
The free kick was before, so the point actually will not stand. So the scoreboard is correct up there. 99 plays at 53 here at the Brighton Beach Oval. McNabb feeds it back by hand towards Seager. It was just short of him. Walsh, aggressive, had to spin around and pick it up. Andriski just sinks the boot into it. He was taken high. It's going to be downfield, I believe. Free kick to Tucker at half forward.
Wouldn't want to lose it by a point then.
A few little spot. I don't think we're in danger of that, mate. A few little spot fires out there at the moment.
Sammy Tucker has 3 for his afternoon. St Kevin's have 8. So it's been him and Jack Bank the targets, no question. So Tucker from 45 out, it never looked likely. That's well out to the right, won't even score. The margin remains at 46, 4.5 gone, fourth quarter.
Been a willing day, hasn't it? It's just simmered away all afternoon. A little push and shove. It's never really exploded, but more than been 5 or 10 minutes away from a little bit of a push and shove.
And Brighton won't mind that because it takes St Kevin's focus off the game.
Hart with a good mark at half forward rather. Normally does his work at half back. And he just sends it back inside, attacking 50 to a one-on-one. Tweedy got hands to it. Montanaro out to McNabb. Now Campeely back to McNabb. On the left boot, goes down the line. It's going to suit Delamitru here, who drifts and takes a nice mark. Had a decent game today. Delamitru got a goal in the second term. Comes in board to Andriski, who was the closest man to the Tunners' goal. They're just going to belt it back inside, attacking 50. Over the head of Cork down there. And it's been locked up, and there'll be a tackle applied. Kazitsky, I think, was the target. Ball up inside 50 here for St Kevin's once again. Pitch towards the boundary line that time by Carr. Now Walsh over to Hodges, who's got a bit of space, and quickly he throws it on the boot towards goal. Gone across the face, come off hands, trying to charge through was Marnie. He left without the footy. Lohan's in there now, and now Pfeiffer trying to find a way through. He's caught by Cork. The moment passes for St Kevin's. There'll be a ball up inside 50, about 20 out from goal.
They're defending well here, Brighton, because it's living in St Kevin's forward arc, and they're just unable to capitalise.
Only about 15-20 out from St Kevin's goal. Can they make something of this? Greenham, lovely pick-up. The finish wasn't as good. He misses out to the right-hand side. That was just a slick one-handed pick-up straight onto the right boot, but couldn't quite finish it off. St Kevin's, they moved to 8-6-54. The Tunners remaining at their three-quarter time scoreline of 15-9-99.
St Kevin's really need to take away every option of Old Brighton from this kick in now and try and cause a turnover here. Get another shot on goal.
McNabb goes in short. This is what they've done well all day, Old Brighton. They've just kept finding options. 45-point advantage. Got the line to Ag. With very little risk at all, they've got it out of the defensive 50. And they can look to get it up towards the wing here. Sneaking up the line to Howden. Took a good mark in front of Billy Bryant. Goes inboard, and they won't mind this either, Hugo.
No, they're in a slow play and they're maintaining possession, just keeping the game in their hands.
Just eating a couple of minutes off the clock where they can. To go now as Tweedy gets away from Tucker. Has a bounce as well. And his kick up the line is not a good one. It's been turned over. Jones marks. Hands it over to Matheson. We know he's a raking kick. Goes towards Tucker. It's wide. It's out of bounds on the full. It's a missed opportunity for St Kevin's.
In this sort of lull, maybe a good time to plug the pod. Jason Bennett, yourself, Braden May, For the Love of the Game is a podcast. You can get that one wherever you get your podcasts.
Hold on. Not just the podcast, the award-winning podcast, For the Love of the Game.
And a vodcast it is now as well. You can have the YouTube and watch the boys in action.
Is that a podcast you have when you're drinking vodka?
Oh, that would be something, wouldn't it?
Well, it's an idea. I'll raise that in the pre-production meeting, see what they say.
Viewership would probably go up at that point. Nonetheless, ball's going to be brought back into play. Where
quality might not, though.
Quality, that would drop, no question. Ball's going to be tossed back into play. 8 played in this final term. The Tunners, they lead it by 45 points. Comes out towards the back of the contest. A lovely driving kick inside the attacking 50, up towards Bank. Felt like he might have got a chop at the back of the head. Umpire saw it differently. On the outside, nice little turn there from Elliot Marnie. He goes up towards Greenham. Long kick to the top of the goal square for Tucker. Punched away from him. Inside the goal square now. Little snap around the corner can be good enough. And a goal for Will Pfeiffer. St Kevin's, the goals, well, they're not even being celebrated at this point. The margin's at 39. 99 plays 60.
You see the value of a deep kick to a dangerous spot, top of the square, and a beautiful roving shot there. Excellent snap on goal. So, yeah, it goes in a little bit of a holding pattern at the moment. You can see Brighton just trying to go into a slow play, maintain possession, just take the life out of it. But good of St Kevin's to get back on the scoreboard there. What is it, Matty? 3 in a row.
Three in a row. Well, that's it's sort of my theory.
Yes.
Carl, I don't know if we've explained this to you, but when does a comeback start actually being considered a proper comeback?
3 goals.
You kick 3 in a row. So we've got to factor in that there's
the SKOBs can get a couple then.
We've got to factor in that there's a very significant breeze today, but that's the general rule.
It is with St Kevin's though in this fourth quarter.
Carr out to Seager. Well, that ball has dropped straight at centre-half forward here. Critical ball to win. Dimitru hanging back, receives the hand pass and feeds it out. Another one over the top. They've got a bit of space here, St Kevin's. And Richards, well, found his man nicely. Drew the man and then goes with a kick down the line over the head of Tucker. But it instead finds Bank, who's going to pull the trigger. Kick goes across the face. How's it going to bounce? It's going to go across the face for a minus score. 9-7-61 St Kevin's, 15-9-99 Old Brighton. 10 minutes gone here in this final term for Domo Insurance.
Just seemed like Bank was in 2 minds there. He almost pulled the kick to try and have the advantage of the player running in and sort of half kicked at the goal too. And he made the distance easily. So,
well, the margin hasn't been below 30 points since the 24-minute mark of the first quarter. Brighton, they've just had this comfortable lead all day. McNabb, well, that's a rare mistake from Luca McNabb. He has sprayed that out of bounds on the full, and Bank is going to play on quickly. And it's not a great kick, but it's very high into a dangerous position. Cork, well, he had a few bites of the cherry and has actually ended up marking that ball. About 15 out from his own goal, and he plays on quickly. And it's a nice, careful pass that found Montenegro. In fact, Fanning, it is deep in defence. On the left boot, Sam Fanning, still 19s eligible. He is. Walsh was dispossessed. Carianis tried to flick it out to the boundary line, and might be a lasso free kick. No, just a boundary throw. I thought it might have come off the leg there of Hamish Dick.
Might have come off the thigh, which doesn't count as a kick.
Nonetheless, a boundary throw in right underneath the scoreboard here at the Brighton Beach Oval. 11 gone, fourth term for Domo Insurance. The Tunners by 38.
Coates front spot against Carr, tapped it down, bounced off the chest of Richards, comes to Harry Hill, who gets it forward. Richardson playing in front, had to turn spoiler, but it's fallen away with St Kevin's. Sweeping hand pass from Angus Hart out to Dimitru, does nicely again. And Drewski, he goes with a hand pass up the line. Turning around there is Marnie, driving kick up towards full forward. Who's going to fly? Flockhart does, and takes the saving mark for the Tunners and wastes no time. Lohan goes short to Howden on the back flank. And no one is really presenting for the Tunners, so he's just happy to stop and prop and goes short to Goodger, who gets a little bit of a shove for his troubles after taking the mark. Good today, Goodger. We won't have time to have a chat with our Skins player of the match, Hugo Higginbotham, but I'm going to need you to start thinking. So kick down the line is turned over. Kazitsky.
I was actually just doing that, Matty.
A smart man. You're one step ahead of me.
Always a step ahead.
Jones. That's not the siren, that's just someone who's gone way too fast. And it's an easy mark for Flockhart. Those don't condone that at all, obviously. Goodger in the back flank. And that's a risky little kick up the line. Target was looking for Seager, and that might be on the full.
No, I think he's out of play already.
Might have gone out of play.
Ball in.
They make the protesters Billy Bryan, but the umpire says, give it to me, we'll toss it back.
So Skins player of the day, very interesting. Harry Hill's been excellent from start to finish.
Yep.
We've had a couple of goal kickers. If someone gets to 4 goals, they'll probably be in front of Harry Hill, but I think Harry's been a 4-quarter performer so far.
Early contender there for Skins player of the day. Both rucks were holding each other, a bit of ruck lotto. is going to go the way of St Kevin's. Billy Coates.
That must be a great game.
That's a good
Rough
term.
lotto.
Comes out towards Walsh. He was tackled by Seeger. Walsh has had a pretty nice game. Seeger plays on quickly up towards Richardson, completely unguarded on the wing. But ahead of him, nothing really. Ag was about 15 metres away. He just found that target in time as Walsh was closing in very quickly. McNabb offered a short lead. Ag still about 70 from home. He sends it into the hot spot. Flockhart was pushed. No question. Felix Flockhart will get a free kick about 35 out directly in front.
Yeah, the umpire was in beautiful position there, just back behind the player. He thought he'd get the sneaky push in. When you're giving away probably 1.5 feet in height, it's probably all you can do.
Feels like he's had a better day than just one goal today, Felix Flockhart. He's done a lot of work in the ruck, in the forward half of the ground. 17 possessions, 15 hitouts last week for the number 11. The margin stands at 38. Felix Flockhart. He's kept it low out the breeze, and it's good enough. The Tunners raise the ton. They move to 16-9, 105. St Kevin's 44 points back, 9-7, 61.
Once again, St Kevin's struggled with their forward entries, and then Brighton always have the answer. So he actually played really well today, Felix Flockhart, as you touched on there, Cal. It's always a tough day when you're up against Billy Coates. It's probably the strongest ruckman in the competition, and they've had a very good physical battle as well. So, but this is the danger of Felix Flockhart, how valuable he is to Brighton, where he can roll forward, and he's the most dominant forward out there.
Yep.
And we've just seen him take some intercept marks in the down back just in the last few minutes, so he's a danger no matter where Marcel Bruin chooses to use him.
Yep.
Carr wins a tap down. Oh, everybody fell over there except Walsh, who gets a hand pass to Hodges. Well, that kick slews off the side of the boot, not where he wanted it to go at all. But it might work out. Mazzio trying to run onto it. It's picked up here by Pfeiffer, who snaps up towards full forward. Getting across is Campbell. Tweedy with authority punches it over the boundary line for a throw in the forward pocket.
Yes, they're very happy to defend that one wide there. Thanks, Matty. You woke us all up there. Going through the motions.
We got to celebrate the 1%.
There's a lot of punch in the punch.
Yes.
Tucker, front spot against Carr. McNabb, hand pass missed the target. Dillamitru grabs a kick inside 50. Doesn't go very far though. Montanara back to McNabb. Goes to Coates, who got a hand to it. Well, an inventive little sock off the ground. Don't know how that worked, but it did. Hodges, high inside 50, going back with a flight. Oh, now there's a player's been taken down there for the Tunners. I think that might be Montanaro again. He didn't take the mark, but he'll get the free kick. I don't think he was taken high, but he was just pushed in the back. And he'll get the free kick inside the defensive 50 here for Old Brighton.
Yeah, deserved that. He was very brave going back with flight.
Bit of more push and shove going on off the ball down the line. Jones flew early, couldn't affect the contest. There'll be another stoppage here between wing and half forward for St Kevin's. 16-9, plays 9-7 this fourth quarter, brought to you by Domo Insurance. Looks like it's going to be 20 in a row for the Tunners.
You're having a little look at the around the grounds.
So I am. There's one that's very curious to me, very intriguing. I'd love to know what's happened there. We'll find out during the week. But Old Zabs 5-3-33. Old Trinity 11-11-77.
Unbelievable. Trinity 44 points in front of the Old Zabs. Thought it would have been pushed out of that contest. The number 2s Lockhorn, Seeger and Hodges.
That is the headline of the week, because we saw Old Zabs last week, Hugo, and they looked unstoppable.
Hodges got one hand to it, cast straight up and down the chimney after the smother. Comes out the side, Hodges just broke the heel tackle and he's away. Off goes Hodges, ran into a couple of trouble. Not quite getting away, and that's got to be ball, surely. Umpire saw it that way. Marnie ran into the Travers tackle.
It's been a highlight today. Old Brighton's tackling has been excellent.
The pressure has been just suffering.
Oh, look at this kick. That is amazing.
That is a beauty from Travers across to Tweedy. Flocker in the leading lane. He goes in his direction. Felix couldn't quite take the mark. Off hands. Bryant handballs it in towards the corridor. Duke is going to try and run onto the footy. McNabb was watching him like a hawk. And a throw. It's been played against Max Lowen, so it's going to be going the way of Xavier Duke. He's looking to cement his place in this seniors outfit in 2026. Duke drives it long up towards Beck. It's a nice mark. So he's going to go straight back and try and kick goal here.
Hugo, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
8 goals apiece since quarter time. Now, obviously the game we know is sort of won in the first term. So is that more down to St Kevin's lifting or game management from the Tunners?
St Kevin's lifted, but yeah, it's all. We have seen an element of game management from the Tunners as well. They haven't been pressed realistically, so the job was done. They've kept it at that margin. So yeah, that's what I put that down to. But we've seen this a lot. Yeah, I remember a game here last year where Brighton are very good at. Brighton are one of the best starting teams in the competition, and then they're good at maintaining that margin.
2 goals, 2 today for Jack Bank. This one from 50. That is perfect. Goodness me, that is a strike from Jack Bank. A little goal a day contender once again for Hodges Real Estate. It's been a tough day for the Scobbers, but that was a mighty, mighty finish.
It was excellent. It was excellent. Now, what we've seen all day is St Kevin's will get a goal and then Brighton have the answer. So we'll be really curious to watch this. It's almost like Brighton need a little challenge. So they say, right, well, you've kicked a goal, well, we're going to kick one now.
Yeah.
So we'll see that. But the value of scoreboard pressure, and we talk about this all the time, Brighton have had scoreboard pressure on St Kevin's since the start, and they just have not been able to shake that.
3 goals in the opening 4 minutes of the match. Right out of the gates, the Tunners stated their intentions early. Flockhart beaten by Tucker. The 211's going out in the ruck, and he just spirals up towards full forward. And Kaczynski's rolled the ankle, I think, there in the aftermath. Spills to Mazio, spins out of traffic. He's caught by Tweedy, holding the ball. The free kick to Old Brighton in the back pocket. Despite limited opportunities today, St Kevin's key forwards have been pretty reasonable. Tucker's kicked 3, Banks kicked 3. It's going to be Old Brighton's day. Speaking of, Tucker just thumps that over the boundary line. So 20 wins in a row at this venue. They haven't lost here since August 2023, the Seniors, and they haven't lost at all since round 12 last year. They are proving once again that early days they're going to be the team to beat this year.
Well, yeah, 973 days is what it currently stands at. They play Old Haileybury away next week, so it's going to go at least another 7 before they come back home against University Blacks in a couple of weeks.
And the kick inside 50 here works, and it's Mini Mazio who's on the end of it. Hugo, we've been waiting 2 full games for this moment. Can he kick a goal?
Well, he knows where the goals are. He was a leading goal scorer in the APS competition. He's a good-looking player. He gets around the contest really well. You see a lot there. He's got an amazing turn of foot. But let's just see if he can convert this one.
Anthony Lynch described him as a Nick Watson type. He kicked 3 behinds last week, Will Mazio. He should have the distance here. He'll be kicking from right on 50, 45-degree angle. The little Josh Kennedy stutter steps. He sends it long towards goal, and he's put it right through the middle. Well done, Will Mazio. He's on the board, and they get around him as they should. Well done to the young fella. His 2nd game in this competition, and he's got his maiden goal. 11-7-73, St Kevin's now moved to. Old Brighton, 16-905 time on in this last quarter.
Well, that was excellent play there. And 2 in a row, Matty. What do we need? One more, and we've got to come back.
We get the 3 in a row. Yes. We get the margin under 30 points.
Well, he hasn't been under 30 points since the first quarter.
I'm telling you.
Brighton have just controlled this game. But, hey,
anything's possible.
Weirder things have happened, that's for sure. 21 and a half gone. 105 plays 73. Old Brighton, good from start to finish. Coates won the hit out. Hodges was around the face of the ball. Hamish Dick was tackled very, very quickly, and I think he's paid holding the ball here.
He has too.
So Coates, the free kick, had numbers to his outside, feeds it eventually on towards Dillamitru, who drives it long. Top of the goal square we go. Amongst it there, Kaczynski. That's a good mark. Strong grab from Jacob Kaczynski. 64 AFL games after being drafted, picked 52 in 2018. 48 games with Hawthorn, 16 with the Tigers, and puts that one through to reduce the margin to 26. And there's your 3 in a row, mate.
It's official now.
We have the comeback is 2 minutes gone. Margin 26. 105 plays 79.
In the world, according to Matthew Donald, we have a comeback.
It's on.
We're on here. We've been waiting for this all day.
Dillamitru, I've liked his game today.
Yeah, no, he's been very good.
He's been pretty handy.
Yeah, he's been probably a consistent performer for St Kevin's, or he's fought from the start to finish. But you just see a little bit of life in St Kevin's out there now, a bit of a spark.
Well, it's 4 goals, 3 to 1 straight in this 4th term, so they've certainly lifted their intensity. But as we were saying, I think it's just that first quarter that's really killed them.
They did this last week too. They came back late.
Yes, they did. They did kick a couple late. We didn't get our 3 in a row last week.
No, we didn't.
But we've got it this time.
This one.
So, Flockhart against Coates in the ruck. Flockhart got it down to Hamish Dick, who's taking a turn in the centre. Found a kick out towards half forward. Jones attacked it. Did well, did Callum Jones. He gets a hand pass away to Hodges. Where's he going to go? Kick into the middle of the ground. Bit of a dangerous kick. Might this work? St Kevin's have the numbers. Here's Dimitri again. He gathers it nicely. He gets away from Camp Healy. He goes long towards full forward. Kaczynski's the target again. Off hands. Mazzio's lurking. Wants to put the pressure on. Sock it off the ground by Kaczynski. He's got another one. Back-to-back goals for Kaczynski. St Kevin's have 4 in a row.
Wow.
Oh, there's 24 minutes gone in this final term, and it's 20 points the margin. 13-7-85. St Kevin's Old Brighton 16-9-105. Don't put your glasses down just yet, Hugo Higginbotham. It is not over yet.
I won't put my glasses down because I don't have any. But what is it when they kick 4 in a row, Matty? It's 3's a comeback. What's 4?
Well, I think 4. No, it's definitely on.
Yeah,
definitely on.
Absolutely.
Well, they're kicking them quickly.
Yeah, they are.
It was 44 points just not long ago. They kicked 4 in a row now, St Kevin's. The margin sits at 20. It's still very improbable, but far from impossible. St Kevin's with all the momentum. 20 points is the margin. And as Harry Hill and Hodges, as they have done all day, just watched each other so closely.
It makes you think about that point that they didn't give earlier.
I know. Might come in handy one way or the other.
All of a sudden.
Unbelievable.
Carr v Coates once again. Coates wins it down. Harry Hill read it best. He was tackled very quickly by Hodges. And we'll do it all again inside the centre square. 24 and a half gone in this final quarter for Domo Insurance. 16-9, plays 13-7. The Tunners led by as many as 49 points. That margin has been trimmed to just 20. A clearing kick out towards the wing. It's a foot race. An awkward bounce for Carrianis, then read it well. Feeds it inside Burnell. Lovely handball to Goodger. This kick needs to be good. Ag in the hole. Andruski flies. Travers, lovely crumb in the pocket. Travers! Travers! Unbelievable! Goal and A, no question. Hodges Real Estate, put it in the book. Luke Travers, that is sensational.
Well, we've seen Matty's comeback torpedoed there by goal of the day.
Oh God!
But you can see Brighton just put the foot down a little bit there, got back to playing some attacking football rather than a holding pattern game, and just that overlap to advantage. But an amazing snapshot on goal.
He's probably puts it to bed as well.
Yeah, he's dug himself out of an absolute spray there because he had a bloke on his own in his goal square. And Marcel Brewer, I reckon, would have been ready to tee off at him if that had a miss. But if you kick the goal, it's all right. It's a ripping goal as well. It might just be enough now for the Tunners. They work it up towards half forward. Dimitri leading his man back towards the football. Flicks it forward intelligently. He gets the kick away, but not before the umpire reads him. Advantage taken. Richardson's going to kick this, obviously. Does so. High up towards centre half forward. Big flag!
And that's mark of the day, Matty.
Ryan Ag with a beauty in the pack. And this will be icing on the cake if he can convert this. Suddenly the number 50's looking pretty good on his back, Cal. He'll be 40 metres out directly in front when he takes the kick. And he'll push the lead back out. 0-2 for him today.
0-2 for his day, Ryan Ag.
He kicked 2 last week.
He did.
2 behinds today. They're around the grounds shortly with Hugo after this kick from Ryan Ag. To wrap it up at a bow for the Tunners. No. Just some sticky tape instead. 17-10, 13-7.
You can see why he wants to get rid of that number 50. Kick straight with it.
Round the ground to Glenferrie Hotel, Hugo.
So an amazing turn up for the books late in the game here. St Bernard's lead Old Scotch by 3 points. So they've hit the front out there. That balcony would be going berserk.
Oh, the snake pit.
Line kick straight from fullback has cleared the centre circle here for the SKOBs. Walsh picks it up, handballs it over the top chance here. It was a brilliant opportunity for Marnie if he could just get boot the ball. Couldn't. The Brighton defence swarmed on him. And they'll come outside, courtesy of Hill, and then Fanning, and then Pryor. Play on. He didn't actually pay the mark. No, he did pay the mark.
Gee, I don't know if that was a mark.
Well, if he paid the mark and Pryor had gone with the ball, because it's not a free kick, that should have been play on. That should have been an advantage. Yeah. Shouldn't have had to go back behind the mark.
17-10, 112 are Old Brighton. They lead St Kevin's 13-7-85. As we're deep into red time. 28 gone in this final term. The Tunners looks set to salute for a 20th consecutive time here at home. Montanaro around the back, just switched things right across to the far side of the ground that found Tweedy. And a nice ball that found Lowen, and they can just kill the clock. St Kevin's have fought hard late in this contest, but the Tunners just going to be too good for too long. Back-to-back 16-2 home-and-away campaigns fell on grand final day in 2024. Won the premiership last year. This Marcel Bruin's third season in charge, and it's getting off in the perfect fashion as Hart takes a mark, an intercepting mark at that defensive side of the wing. Drives it up towards half forward. Numbers here favour the Tunners, one of which was Tweedy. He handballs it forward towards Richardson, and Andriski was basically riding his back already. It's actually a lasso free kick. It's going to go the way of St Kevin's.
Andriski to take it. Last quarter brought to you by Domo Insurance. Now 27-point lead for the Tunners again. Kick back inside 50. Punch towards goal. Long way out from goal. And just gone through 13-8, 86 St Kevin's. Old Brighton 17-10, 112. Remarkably, gents, it's 12 goals to 9 in favour of St Kevin's since quarter time. That devastating start from the Tunners has done all the damage, really. 8 goals to 1.
Yeah, it's been that scoreboard pressure for the rest of the day, Matty. It's hard to come back from that.
If you're going to pull off a comeback, a lot needs to go right. McNabb goes with the kick in. Hart was pushed out of the contest just as he was prepared to fly, but it's a free kick for the Tunners for a block. Must have been Flockhart who was edged out of the contest in front, and he'll take the kick. Hart's on the mark. He's not sure about it. Felix Flockhart called to go now by the umpire, so he's just going to set the kick high up the line. It's going to flirt with the boundary line. Ag flies. Couldn't complete the mark, and there might be a free kick going the way of St Kevin's for a high. They'll take the advantage. Walsh goes up towards centre half. Oh, coming over the top. It's Bank who takes a good mark.
He's playing his teammate.
Yes,
he didn't care who he cleaned up on the way. And that is the siren. So the result is in the books. The margin, all that's left to be determined. It's 20 in a row for the Tunners at home. They go 2-0 to start the season. St Kevin's will slip to 0-2. It's just a case of what the final margin is. Jack Bank to take the kick. This will be going for goal number 4. Margin stands at 26 here. Not much of an angle with this kick from what'll be 55 metres out. He's been very good in front of goal today, Bank. Sinks the left foot into it. That looks good off the boot. It's going to push the post, and it has eventually drifted off to the right. And it is a minor score. And that puts the final note on what's been a terrific day for Old Brighton. 17-10, 112. They defeat St Kevin's 13-9, 87. They maintain their unbeaten record at home. 20 games in a row dating back to August 2023. And they have certainly consolidated themselves as one of the teams to beat in 2026.
That's an amazing performance there, Matty, and really stamping their authority on the competition. So definitely one to watch. So just quickly go around the grounds because we're off to the 19 soon. So after being down by 11 points at the 24.5-minute mark, St Bernard's have kicked the last couple of goals to get up and beat Old Scotch out there at the Snake Pit by 2 points. Uni Blacks, these scores are potentially still live, but Uni Blacks are down 6-11-47 to 10-8, 68 against the Blues. And this is a turn-up, this one. I think this score's still going, but Old Zad 6-4-40, Old Trinity 11-11, 77.
That's remarkable. Old Trinity defeating the Old Zavarians.
That's amazing out there.
No one could have picked that.
No, that's the kiss of death might have, but not many others.
No.
There's the post-game show for Salt Financial. We'll rip through it rapid fire. Hodges Real Estate goal of the day. I think we figured that one out right at the end. Luke Travers. Mark of the day for 40 winks. Ryan a couple of minutes later. Yep, fair enough. Hugo Higginbotham, thank you for the Around the Grounds for Glenferrie Hotel and your special comments. Thanks to Hit IQ. Cal Cummins, you're sticking around. You've got the double header coming up. This has been the VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Match of the Day here on the SEN app. Old Brighton, who take away a 24-point win in the 17-10, 112 to 13-10, 88. A quick break here. Cal Cummins are going to be joined by Cal Panuto and Lulu Beattie for the under-19s double header. That's all coming up right after this.
VAFA action is back and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45 p.m.
Are you thinking about pulling on the boots and having a kick in 2026? If so, we'd love to have you in the VAFA. Australia's largest senior footy competition has teams suited to all ages and experience, from under-19s to seniors. Log on to vafa.com.au, check out our club directory and find a club near you.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for one male and one female player aged 20 years or under who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the VAFA Rising Stars for 2026. So if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Stay up to date with all the latest from the Victorian Amateur Football Association with the brand new VAFA app. Stay connected with live scores, fixtures, stats and news from across the Victorian Amateur Football Association right at your fingertips. Download the VAFA app today from the App Store or Google Play and never miss a moment.
Keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA by subscribing to our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook and LinkedIn. Has someone just taken a screamer or kicked goal of the year? Send us your best and we might share them around the league. Join in the fun with all the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. They're all on VAFA socials. Search VAFA and VAFA Women's on your favourite platforms.
Listen in to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on SEN's new no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45 p.m. Listen via the app.
It's the greatest podcast in the history of the world.
It goes high up and under the full 40. He's taken a ripper!
He has a bounce, he crosses 50, he pins the ears back, and he drills the goal!
All the latest news and views from around the VAFA.
Here's the big man!
The big guy.
He's done it again! This bloke extracts some of the finest from outside the arc. It's a long bomb from outside the arc!
This is for the love of the game.
You tweet that and hashtag it bloody good.
Hey everybody, welcome to For the Love of the Game. Round 1 is in the books and it delivered everything we hoped for. It had been such a long build-up, but we finally got there and we had some fantastic footy across the weekend, up and down the divisions in both the men's and the women's competitions. We're about to unpack it all here for you over the next hour and a bit. Jason Bennett alongside Matthew Donald and Braden May. We waited a long time, Matty, but it was worth the wait.
Yes, hello Jason, Braden, and hello to everyone tuning in. And what an exciting opening weekend it was. So many great stories across all the divisions and looking forward to unpacking all of them with you today. And it leaves us with some really intriguing matchups ahead of round 2 this weekend. I'm already looking forward to Saturday, but before we get to there, let's unpack the weekend that was. It was a great start to the year.
No, it was really exciting. Going through the results, whether it was new players, familiar faces, returning faces from injury, there was just so much to talk about. I think the best thing about the opening parts of the season, you uncover so many untapped stories.
And one of the great stories of Premier Men's was Old Haileybury, and joining us to talk through their incredible come-from-behind win is their coach, Guy Martin. Guy, congratulations. What a first-up win. That's a game you'll never forget.
Yeah, mate. There's a little interview doing the rounds after the game. I was pretty up and about. I was pretty amped after that win. So, yeah, I mean, as I said in that one, to win any game coming from behind is pretty special. To win any round one game and then round one at a new club. So just everything sort of combined turned into a pretty memorable win. Very happy. And
sorry, go ahead, mate.
Oh, no, I was also going to say, thanks for having us.
Oh, mate, no problem. Thanks for your time. Hey, let's talk through the early stages of the game. The Blacks sort of dominated the contest early. They were well on top on the inside, and they had 6 first-quarter scores from turnover. They were a couple of goals up, and then they generated more inside 50s in the second term, a lot more potent. They were clunking everything inside 50 and led by 15 points at the major break. What were you thinking at that stage of the game when you brought the boys in at half-time?
So a few things. Yeah, look, you nailed it. Their stuff around the contest and the stoppage is pretty good. I think their new ruckman, Sam Conway, is going to cause a lot of headaches for a lot of teams. Our ruckman, Bally, I rate him really highly, but he had his work cut out for. He's a big man, Sam Conway, and had a fair bit of ruck dominance, which gives them a bit of confidence around the contest, and they're pretty good inside there. Look, I wasn't perhaps as concerned as maybe some were. We had our chances. The first half of the second quarter was living in our forward line. We just couldn't convert. A few little things didn't go our way, and was trying to just pump up to the guys or reinforce to the guys. It's just a couple of moments here or there can change the things. And as I said, we had our chances. We just didn't take them, and then they did in that second half of the second quarter. And the goal after the siren really hurt, and it was probably as flat as I've ever seen a side at half-time for, only a 14 or 15-point deficit. So I was trying to, just trying to go through it pretty logically, that it's not that big of a margin. It's a couple of things here or there, and we're still well and truly in the game. I wasn't too stressed, but the boys, I think, were pretty deflated after that goal that they kicked after the half-time siren.
It was a bit of an arm wrestle in the third term, and then the Blacks eventually got out to a 32-point lead. Flynn Gregor managed to get on the back of that goal late at the 28-minute mark to make it 26 points. You were down at the last change. What was the message to the group, and what was the vibe in the huddle?
Vibe was all right. Message was it was a message that we said pre-game, but it's funny, we sort of wanted to play a certain way, but we didn't really do it until we had to. And there was a little bit of a breeze that was sort of coming and going throughout the day. It wasn't really strong, but it was probably a couple of goals. And I think that just sort of helped with the way that we wanted to play. We sort of said, leave no stone unturned and be pretty aggressive and just have a go at it. And to get an early goal in that last quarter really helped. We were pretty fortunate with a lucky bounced into Darius Seckle's lap and ran into an open goal. And I think once we got one and then a second early, the momentum sort of went with us and the confidence built. And as I said, I reckon the Blacks maybe they went into their shell a little bit and the ball was just parked in our forward half. So I guess, the message at three-quarter time was don't die wondering, don't walk off losing by 5 goals and have a stalemate of a last quarter. Let's take a few risks and go at it and try and win it. And, we did.
You said lucky, Guy. Don't be so modest. You'd thrown Darius Seckle. He played back for the first 3 quarters, hadn't you? You threw him forward and bang, the ball bounces into his arms. He kicks a goal in 90 seconds. That's just masterful coaching.
Yeah, I regret not doing it in the second quarter as well. Look, he's won goal kicking. He's won goal kicking comps. He's won leading goal kicker at the club as well as best and fairest as a defender. So it's no secret he'll be a swing man for us all year. He might start forward some games, start back the other. I sort of wanted to do it in the second quarter when we had the win, but almost got talked out of it. But it was a no-brainer. Halfway through the third quarter, we knew that we were going to send him forward for the last quarter when we had that little breeze and just give us another marking target. But no, I can call a spade a spade. That was lucky. The Blacks defender tripped over. It was bouncing out. It bounced over his head. And Darius, as per usual, trailing his opponent, and it turned into a pretty fortunate bounce. But that's what I was trying to say at half time about having moments. Some of the moments were just going their way, I thought, which happens in footy, and you just need a couple of them to a bit of luck. Whether it's an umpiring decision, a lucky bounce, or just the luck of the draw sometimes. So we started getting a few of those in the last quarter, and things went our way, and we managed to pile on the goals.
No, Jace, I'm not convinced. I'm still putting it down to modesty. Guy, congratulations on the win at the weekend. Terrific start for you. I'm curious how in terms of what you've got at your disposal, it must be really pleasing that you've got a group of players that are really prepared to buy into the mentality of really going for it, even when the odds look stacked against them, and that they've bought into the program and what you're trying to instill in them. That must be a really encouraging sign for you.
Yeah, look, it's, probably sounds a bit cliched. After the game, I spoke about, look, obviously the win's great and getting the 4 points and all those sort of things, but I think what's more important for us is sort of what you touched on there, just reinforcing some belief, for the weeks to come or months to come or the remainder of the year, or at least in the immediate future, so over the next few weeks, that this is what we are capable of. And so let's buy into that. Like, you've seen it. And as I said, at halftime, we were really flat, and it could have gone real bad. I was worrying about that. And then to come out in that last quarter and play the way they did, if nothing else, it just shows, gee whiz, guys, this is what you're capable of. This is what you can do when you play a certain way. I said it a few times on Saturday. We're at 18 of our 22 were 22 years or younger on Saturday. So we're a young side, and they could have gone into their shells and sort of retreated and lacked a bit of confidence as the game went on. But they came out and they did it such a fantastic job the way they played, and for such a young group, it was pretty impressive. So hopefully it just instills a bit of confidence and belief for the weeks to come.
I guess the great thing for you guys is that you're learning about this group every week as well. You've obviously had your first pre-season in charge, you've had your practice matches, and then to learn a lot in the last 30 minutes of this side, it goes to show that you probably don't have to kick and scream, that this is a very self-motivated group as well.
Yeah, I'm 100% still learning, even a lot of things with how we want to play and how we want to set up and who plays where. We still don't have it locked in because I just don't know. I had ideas coming in, and then you change at Christmas, and then you change leading into the first practice match, and after each game you start learning a few things and changing, tweaking some ideas and some thoughts about how you want to play or who you want to play in what positions. But I think I sort of termed them the baby bloods in reference to the baby bombers of '93, and I'm looking into that side and what made them good. And they said that Kevin Sheedy just sort of gave them a license a little bit and play with flair and use your youth as as an advantage. People are going to look at a young side and think they're going to have some weaknesses or deficiencies, but there's also advantages with being young. So we've got to buy into that and lean into that as much as possible. So I was really impressed with that last quarter, and probably just the response for such a young group. So really happy. Still on pretty happy about it, but probably need a win against Caulfield to frank that now.
7 goals to 1 in the final term. That's the fearlessness of youth, isn't it? Just throw caution to the wind and go for it after kicking 6 in the first 3 quarters. As you mentioned, bit of a local derby of sorts, really. Just heading around the corner, up the street a couple of kilometres to visit Caulfield Grammarians. What are you making of it, and what are you expecting?
Well, they're probably, without knowing a heap, they're probably in a similar position to us in terms of their sort of age, demographic, that sort of thing. I coached against them in a past life a couple of years ago. I know they've gone through a bit of a changeover, a changeover of list and are relatively young. And from reports, they, pretty sort of slick and fast and young and had a pretty good showing against Xavier in a practice match a couple of weeks ago, and took Scotch to 3 goals or whatever it was on Saturday. So without knowing a heap about them individually, you're sort of starting to get a little bit of a vibe about how they're playing. And from some people that I've spoken to that have watched them over the pracky matches or round one, they said they're a team definitely to worry about or to think about, that's for sure.
Guy, thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on the win. Best of luck this week.
No, thanks, Jason. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Always great to catch up with Guy Martin. What a wonderful start. He was so pumped. Andrew Cox, one of our VAFA media reporters, caught up with him straight after the game. That interview is on our VAFA socials if you want to have a look. He was just so excited. He still had the adrenaline pumping. He's been around a long time. He's won an A-grade flag at St Kevin's. He's done some wonderful things in this competition. But to turn up day one with your new club and win like that, how exciting.
Oh, no, it's a terrific story, a terrific game of football, and it's great to see that the passion is alive well and truly right out of the gates in 2026. It was a terrific occasion, though, on Saturday.
And the sort of thing that can build such belief in your team, Braden.
Exactly right. And I think when there were so many question marks about how they would perform, change of coach, obviously lost some of their key players to the VFL, and you bring in a lot of young guys, as you discussed in your article, Jason, which is huge as well. You just don't know what the kids are going to do. They can sometimes falter under pressure, but to rally late, it just speaks volumes of the belief he's instilled in them in pre-season.
Well, the other tight game of the weekend was at Camberwell Sports Ground. 2024 Premiers Old Scotch hosted the newly promoted Caulfield Grammarians. The Fields found their feet pretty quickly. They kicked a goal 3 minutes in, and they were up and about. They were up by 2 goals at quarter time, in fact, to Caulfield. They were playing some really good footy. Mark Nat said that Caulfield had the ascendancy in the first term. Their defence held up pretty well, though, it must be said. And from there, it was a bit of an arm wrestle. Scotch peppered away in the second term, 4 consecutive behinds before Aidan Frenetic kicked his first goal of the season. Archie Luffnan responded a minute later for Caulfield. They headed to the rooms leading by a single point. It was a really tight game. Cardinals